Come on in, please like, share, subscribe, and participate with today's poll. Your girl love a good poll. It helps me to gauge where we are as a people, as a collective. So I like to do the polls because listen, what they say, the data don't lie. So we get into the data over here. So come on in, like the video. We got a lot to talk about pertaining to Carmelo Anthony, Judge John Roach Jr. Jr., I need for you to step to the front of the congregation, Jr. We got some questions. And the DA, District Attorney Greg Willis. So come on in, boys and girls. Come on in. Get comfortable. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Make sure you complete the poll. Engage. Y'all act like you got some damn sense today. We do not have to be doing the most. Nobody's chat is exempt from people doing the most. So I will say that people are out here on some equal opportunist type time. Because every content creator is getting at work in they chat. I tell you, when you know, you know. So come on in. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. We got some things to get into, so a lot to talk about. I told y'all, everybody talking, the gag order is up. What they said, the gag is up. The gag is up. So that includes Judge Roach Jr. Jr. is talking. He did a sit down interview, and I want to watch. Listen, we're gonna do a Friday night watch party because I want to listen to what he has to say. Because that man said, "Listen, I sleep well at night." So let's listen to his reasoning as to why he sleeps well at night. Also, right before I hit the go button for this live, someone shared a video with me with a witness of someone who said they saw the full video of the incident that day when Carmelo Anthony unalived Austin Metcalf. So I've been hearing a lot of going back and forth out here pertaining to the video as to who's seen the video. Was the video shown in its entirety? Was the video grainy? Was it clear? Like all kinds of stuff I've been hearing pertaining to this video. And a lot of the people's arguments have been like, well, these people who are saying they seen all of the video, well, how? Where did you see it at? Because it wasn't shown during the trial. Like nobody, no news outlets or journalists, whoever came out and reported on seeing this video because there's been talks of Carmelo getting jumped, all kinds of stuff, y'all. Like it's a lot. And I will say it's a lot of what I'm hearing now isn't what I was hearing during the week trial, 4 days, because listen, they started looking for the jurors last Monday. They wrapped that up Wednesday. Open arguments Thursday. Closing arguments Monday, Tuesday. Closing. I think Monday closing arguments. And then verdict. Did we get the verdict on when we get the verdict, y'all? Was it Tuesday? These days running together. But listen, I told y'all this trial, my cycle lasts longer than this damn trial. Listen, everything about this trial was like on some record type stuff as far as with how they expeditiously came to a verdict, expeditiously came to a sentence, and expeditiously got him on out of that courthouse onto the bus and onto the prison. Y'all, like, there's so many people who are like, yo, this happened in like faster than I've ever seen. Like, listen, Geiger at least had 24 hours to get her thoughts together when she got sentenced. Found guilty Monday, sentenced Tuesday. Y'all see what I'm saying? It didn't take place like that with Carmelo Anthony. So things are just different. Things are very different with this case. So this is why a lot of people kind of have a lot to say, because we like, now, what kind of trickery are you on? Because it's so it's so blatant, so clear. But yes, the loudest comments I've been hearing has been centered around the character of the judge, John Roach Jr. So if you see me looking to my left, that's my lap. I'm sitting outside and my laptop's over there. John Roach Jr. and the DA, Greg Willis. So I want to just talk about these allegations. But come on in. Happy Friday. Like the video. Like the video. I will start by sharing this interview that Judge Roach did. What network? Who he did it with? WFA. So come on in, like the video, and let's get it. Please, listen, y'all. Act like you just act right a little bit. Act right a little bit in these comments, okay? So come on, let's go. Fair use. So this is Judge John Roach Jr. This Jr. Y'all. Hold on, y'all. Let me try to get this together. Hold on. Let me get us together real quick. Uh-oh. I'm outside of the studio. I said, we're going to go outside. We're not going to walk today. I've been passed out because it's so hot. It's in the 90s here today in Hotlanta. So I was like, I'll just turn the fan on and we'll just sit on the porch. Hopefully that helps some, y'all. Lord Jesus, the struggle is real. All right. Try to get myself together. All right. All right, let me turn this around. All right, while I'm trying to get my life in order, y'all, please participate with the chat. With the poll. Do you think Carmelo Anthony got a fair trial? So that's the question tonight. Do you think Carmelo Anthony got a fair trial? So let's get into this interview to see what Judge Roach had to say about this trial between Texas versus Carmelo Anthony. Fair use. Come on in. Come on in. Happy Friday.
Take on this trial. It was important to me to have somebody from Collin County preside over this Collin County case. So I didn't ask for it. No one, that's not how it works anyway. Yeah. I didn't ask for it, but I was certainly willing to do it because that was my duty.
In your conversations with, I guess it's an administrative judge who goes, I know they go down the list and they say, oh, it's your turn, it's your turn. As they go through all the conflicts of judges that may, potential conflicts, when they come and say, John, this may be yours, your first reaction is,
I'll take it.
Not I'll take it. Okay.
I think it's my duty. That's what I was elected to do. Yeah. That's the oath that I took, and I'm going to do my job.
No consultation with your family? Or
None.
No. And where does that come from?
I don't know. I think it's just duty. I think duty, whether that's duty in the Marine Corps or just duty to my family and stuff, I take duty really serious.
He was on some I'll take it. Y'all seen them holiday pictures on Facebook with him and the Metcalf family. Talking about I'll take it. I bet the hell you would. Them your people you trying to defend in there. I bet he did say I'll take it. Listen. Someone's who was that? A content creator, Queen Sheba Darling. She had said to her, he looks like Vice President J.D. Vance. I can see it. Do you all see it? Does he look like Vice President J.D. Vance? Let's listen to what Junior got to say, y'all. Come on in. Come on in.
And I took this job to perform that duty. And if that's what I had to do, that's what I have to do.
Did you fully at the time grasp the enormity of that decision and the outside stuff?
I don't know. I think in some ways I did. I think in other ways I didn't. I certainly knew it was very, very important case within our community. I didn't think I realized the social media and the media during the trial. I've been prepping for this trial with the department, with the Collin County system, with the sheriff's office and everybody for about 8 months.
Is that the longest you've ever had to prep?
100%.
Why?
Logistics. One of the critical pieces of this case where we had minors who were testifying. Prior to me getting the case, we had some of those witnesses doxxed and swatted and revealed on social media. I didn't want that to add to the already traumatic event they've been through, and I didn't want them to change their testimony or be uncooperative with people trying to call them witness out of fear. And so my number one duty at that point in time getting the case was to how do we protect those minors.
So he said he prepped for the trial for about 7 months. Interesting, because the way this trial went, it gave lackluster as far as the effort. It like I said, like it literally, it was like not even a week, less than a week, and this was a murder trial. I'm used to seeing trials a minimum 2 weeks, maybe 3, but outside of jury selection, we talking maybe like 4 days. But you said y'all prepped for it for like 7 months. Like, sir, y'all already knew how y'all was gonna roll with this case. It was almost like, okay, we already know how it's gonna go down, so we just got to get in here, put on the show. Y'all know how it go. Y'all know how it go. That's why he quickly said, yes, I'll take it, because he already know, like, he know the rules, he know the system, he know how the game is played. So yes, he quickly stood up and went to the front of the congregation to accept the responsibility, to accept the role with making sure this young man was sent up the river. Come on in, like the video, y'all. Fair use.
Who are critical to this case to come and testify.
I'm sure you've already read and know that one of your fellow judges has already been doxxed and swatted and all the things.
I did know that.
And still no reluctance from wanting to take it on.
None.
Yeah. The decision to not have cameras or any kind of streaming, was that an easy one?
Yes, it was an easy decision, and I'll tell you why. My primary goal in any case is to make sure that the defendant and the prosecution gets a fair trial, period. I have seen from other cases around the country where cameras in the courtroom changed the way that the judge acted, the lawyers acted, some of the witnesses acted, and we were not going to have that here. We were going to really isolate the purpose for which we were, which is to have a fair trial, and cameras in the courtroom did not enter into that equation at all.
How much grief did you get from people around you about that decision?
I don't know. I don't listen to it. I don't listen to what's going on the outside. I do what I think is right, no matter what decision that is. And I sleep well at night knowing if I follow the law, then everything works out like it's supposed to. And so these outside influences, all the noise from the outside, I really isolated myself from that in this case and in all cases, and just do my job the best I can, following the law.
How do you think we're talking with the attorneys, other attorneys outside of this. How do you think they describe you?
Strict, no nonsense, fair, and that to me is the most important part. I know for a fact when I make a decision here, people are unhappy. What I hope is when they walk out the door.
Was it excuse me? Was it fair for Carmelo Anthony to not have representation of his group of people in the jury? What do you all think about that? Do you all think that was fair? Because just out the gate, you're starting out wrong by not following. That's like a constitutional right, correct? So out the gate, if the person does not have a jury of their peers, like all other groups, then we are already off to a bad start. Then more than likely the outcome is not going to be really what it should be or what it could have been, because it wasn't built on an honest system, a strong foundation. Like, listen, it was built on lies. The system is built on lies. This man, he's tapped in with the other people within the community who also have positions. They already know how this goes. His responsibility as the judge is to follow through with the plan. Follow through with the plan. That's his role. Follow through with the plan. The attorneys, they're writing out the plan. The judge, your job is to follow through with it. And he executed his job.
That they think they got a fair trial or a fair hearing or fair something. And if they do that, no matter what they think about me personally, then I've succeeded.
And you're okay with any of those characterizations?
I think they're fair.
Yeah. I hate to have to ask about stuff that emerges on social media, but I have to ask you. And I know you don't know of any of it because you're not on social media.
I'm on it. I mean, I'm an elected official, so I have a Facebook page and stuff. Do I look at it? Do I monitor it? Do I let it impact me? None. Not at all.
So I have to ask, do you have a personal relationship with the Metcalfs?
I wouldn't know Mr. Metcalf prior to this trial. He walked with me and said hello. I don't know the Metcalfs.
That man lying, y'all.
Been through and all, but I don't know.
Have you all seen those pictures out there on Mr. Metcalf's, the twins' father's Facebook page, where they were together at like a holiday party in like December of 2023? Have y'all seen those pictures? They're not no AI fake pictures. They're literally on the father's Facebook page. As of Tuesday, they were still there because when I got a text message about it, and then someone sent me the Facebook link for the page, I saw the pictures. There were multiple pictures of this man, Judge Roach Jr., smiling with Austin Metcalf's father. The pictures were still up. They're probably still up. But listen, right now we're in these times to where people like that look like this can blatantly do wrong onto you and be on this who gonna check me boo type time, because to them they're the top of the hierarchy, so they can do what they want to do. They can make it obvious, like they're like, okay, and what you gonna do about it? Very evident. Come on in, like the video. You all complete the survey.
Never have.
So these AI images emerging of you and them at a party or drinking together, all of that.
And that's the problem with social media, isn't it? You can't tell what's true and what's not true. I will tell you, I got some reports of some things that were coming out of this courtroom, and I wondered to myself, were they even in the same courtroom that I was? It's that bad, and I think that's tragic, because I think really if you just listen to the case based upon the facts, you'd understand it so much better.
Do you think it reinforced your decision to not have cameras or streaming inside this?
Sort of. I will tell you this, sometimes I think maybe I should have at least the audio streamed or something so people could hear it. But at the end of the day, I don't think, no matter what, people are going to distort whatever happens or whatever they hear into their own agenda. And so what's the point? And again, that noise affects people, affects the fairness of the trial, the safety of the witnesses, the safety of the jury. And those are my primary concerns, not what social media says. It's not my duty. I don't think it's my job to feed social media or the media stuff. I certainly understand the role that media plays in a case like this, but I'm not here to feed it. And I took that very, very seriously.
But Judge, when people don't have access to the trial or the courtroom, doesn't it invite speculation?
Sort of.
Sure it does.
I had 70 seats in my courtroom, and I had 200 requests by the media to sit in the courtroom. So let's say if I just entertained the press, and I have nobody from the public watching what's going on in their county. And so I had to do a balance between the media's right to know and to be able to report what's going on, because I think that's extraordinarily important. I think it's important that the general public had access to the courtroom and to see what was going on. And so I tried to balance all those things with the primary, again, purpose of having a fair trial. And I think I struck that balance pretty well.
But the media's right to know.
Do y'all believe this man really think that this was a fair trial? Ain't no way this man can really think that this was a fair trial. Like, you have to laugh at this. Like, how, Sway? There was nothing about this trial that was fair. Again, we're starting just with the jury selection. But carry on.
Is the public's right to know? Is the public's access? We are the extension of that public.
I think somebody from the public who wanted to come watch a trial and know that they were excluded from a trial because all the media was there, I beg to differ.
Do you think there was a possibility for a learning experience? I mean, people do not know about how trial works. Do you think that this may have been an opportunity for people to know how it truly works, and that kind of erases some of the negative notions of court and trial?
I'm doing this interview with you to make sure that people understand how the system works, and if they really wanted to, and I mean this seriously, if they wanted to, they could have stood in line with everybody else, and had the 27 to 32 public seats that we had in this courtroom that we rotated every day. So it was that important to them. They could have made it in here.
How did you plan for some of the outside noise?
Well, we were certainly playing with the Sheriff's Office and the McKinney Police Department and the Allen Police Department and the Frisco Police Department. So those were talks that we're having 8 months before the trial to ensure the safety of the people out in the parking lots. They certainly had a right to demonstrate and all, and I think we struck a very, very good balance that allowed them to do that, at the same time maintaining safety of everybody involved.
Did it affect your day-to-day?
It didn't. Actually, I didn't. I came in from a different entrance from the courthouse. I didn't come in through the front. I couldn't hear any noise at all from my office. The jurors were not facing the parking lot, so they didn't see anything or hear anything. And I think we did a marvelous job in isolating them and having them concentrate just on what was going on in this courtroom, which was my instruction from the very, very beginning.
What made this trial different?
I think it started off bad. And it started off bad with the doxing and the swamp.
No, it started off bad when you did not allow for Carmelo Anthony to be represented by a jury of his peers, sir. Yes, so you're right. It did start off bad. It started out very bad. And I'm sure the doxing and all these other things that you're talking about, it was following when people seen what type of time you all were on. At this point, everyone was like, all right, then we see what y'all trying to do here. We had already just peeped the game. We already was able to see like what type of time they were on. The family, I told you all yesterday on my live, the Anthony family, Carmelo Anthony's parents said the first day of the trial, they said, oh, wow, this what we doing? They already seen that it wasn't going right. Come on in here, like, share, and subscribe. Welcome. Happy Friday. Make sure you complete
The judge and the
poll, please.
parties, the witnesses.
You think Carmelo Anthony
so I think it started off bad,
got a fair
and
trial?
I attribute that to social media. And I think social media got it wrong. And it is what it is. I think that's something we have to live with these days. But I think it's my responsibility and other judges' responsibility to make sure no matter what's going on social media, that someone can walk in a courthouse and get a fair trial.
Did it make it very different when you realized a lot of your witnesses are young witnesses?
No, look, I've been doing this for 20 years. A lot of the witnesses come in all shapes and sizes and colors and all that. And so that was normal for me. What wasn't normal for me is to have those witnesses be intimidated by things being said on social media, because those young people rely on social media more than I certainly do. And so that sure impacted me to make sure that they did not change their testimony. They were willing to come in and tell the truth without fear of being doxxed or swatted.
Hell, all of them testimony was changing. The mama said everybody who got up there on that stand testimony had changed from the statements they made a year ago to now. Now, understand, there might be some little things that you may not remember, some little details, but really main, important, key details. Oh, suddenly nobody recalled nothing. Oh, I don't recall. I don't recall mean, listen, I don't want to get nobody in trouble, so I'm just gonna say I don't recall. So therefore, I'm not gonna, get caught lying. That's the default. And here's the thing about the cameras in the courtroom. I think the reason why he didn't want to grant the cameras in the courtroom is because he didn't want the public to peep game in real time. Can you all imagine if we were able to watch the shenanigans in real time, how we would have acted? Man, there would have been so many people up there outside of that courthouse. It ain't even funny. Because the people collectively in unison would have said, oh, hell no. We would have sounded like a choir. But they didn't want the cameras in there because they didn't want us to see what was taking place. See, you only don't want cameras around when you got something to hide. When you ain't got nothing to hide, you like, listen, I'm fair game. It's like getting pulled over by an officer. I ain't got nothing to hide. I'll step out of my car. You can search my car. You ain't gonna find nothing. But when you got ish to hide, this is the type of stuff you do. You come up with all these reasons to not be transparent. He didn't want to be transparent because he already knew it was going to be some time. Let's just take where many people have said one of the young kids was on the stand and he was getting 2 clues on how to answer questions, the defense questions from Austin Metcalf's father. Multiple news outlets, journalists reported on that. So you mean to tell me that the journalist saw it, but judge didn't see it? The defense or the prosecution, the state didn't see it? Come on now. Boy, stop.
So I took every precaution that I could, consistent with the law, to make that happen.
Steve brought it up to you, and I know both sides probably brought it up as well. The AI images of people claiming to be inside this courtroom.
Yeah, that ticked me off a little bit, because if you're going to call yourself the press, and people are going to depend on you to tell them what's going on in this courtroom, you should be telling the truth. And so Mr. Stoller, a public information officer, brought it to my attention that some news outlets were posting photos saying from inside the courtroom. And it wasn't my courtroom, it wasn't the witness, it wasn't their testimony, and that's tragic. Because, again, that just breeds the narrative that these people want to cultivate in our community to drive a wedge between us. And I think that's terrible.
Since we're on the topic of image, can we talk about some of the drawings?
Sure, absolutely.
What do you think?
My wife would show me a drawing every once in a while of a court case going on. I couldn't figure out who the judge was. And I'll answer it all in serious. The sketch artist was awesome. She was very sweet. She was here every day, putting her life's work into those images. Because we didn't have cameras in the courtroom, that's the only visual that anybody got. She did a marvelous job. I think I'm more handsome than what she portrayed overall, but I'll let everybody else figure that out.
Did the jury get it right?
Yeah, they did. You know why? Because they were picked based upon the law. They listened to the.
They was not picked based upon the law. The law says he needs a jury of his peers. There was no black people on the jury. So how was the law abided by? Like how, Sway? White people, if you're in here, how would you feel if you're on trial and the jury, it wasn't no white people on the jury? Would you be in your feelings? You're sitting in the courtroom, whether you're the one on trial or your loved one or somebody you give a damn about, and you don't see no representation of that person's cultural group. Like, would you feel away? Would you be like, Especially if the person's on trial and it's race is playing a big part in it. I can't imagine anybody not feeling a way about having a jury and there was nobody that looked like them by skin color. So did the jury get it right? No, because the jury wasn't right. So we're going to let that sit there. Come on in, like the video, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you complete the poll, please. Happy Friday.
It happened here in this very courtroom, and they got a verdict. And so that's the process. And whatever they say, they get it right.
There's going to be a lot of scrutiny of voir dire. And you denied the defense and the dismissing of 3 jurors who at least identified as African American on their bioforms. What did you make of that moment?
Well, that's not exactly how it works. The defense didn't dismiss them.
I'm sorry, the defense raised an objection.
They raised an objection, yeah. They have raised an objection. Like I told you before, as long as I follow the law, I sleep well at night. And I'm telling you, I follow the law in that case. Did I know what the perception was going to be? Sure. I knew in the back of my mind what the perception was going to be. But I'm not here to satisfy perceptions. I'm not here to satisfy agendas. I'm not here to do any of those things. I'm here to follow the law. And I did it to a T. And I'm proud of that. Very proud of that.
Y'all, he said that. Junior said that with a straight face. He said he followed the law to a T. Yes, he followed the white man law. He followed the law that is put in place to remind non-white people who's in charge, who's superior. He followed their law. Because as we've come to see, the same rules that apply to them, they don't apply to black people. They don't apply to us. Starting with a person having a right, a U.S. citizen having a right to have representation on the jury of their cultural group, their ethnic group. That didn't take place. So out the gate, you didn't abide by the law. So what are you talking about?
It's my last big trial. The sad part about it is, I will tell you before I leave at the end of the year, I'll try a couple more murder cases, for example. The parking lot won't be full.
The color of the jury does matter. If you were on trial, white man, and the jury was black, Hispanic, Asian, and you didn't see nobody with pale skin tone face, like you wouldn't feel away like, wait a minute, and then you're on trial for unaliving a black man. Get the F out of here with that. These are the lies that you tell to make yourself feel better, because ain't no way you're going to feel okay knowing that the people who are there to judge you don't look like you. Not a one. But again, it's easy for people to say things like that when all they know is a society where they're superior and they always see representation. See, that's how it's easy to kind of make a comment like that, because you don't know what it's like to not have representation. So to you, it's just like, oh, well, I mean, a jury is a jury. No, the hell is not. A jury is not a jury. It does make a difference on what that jury is made up of. That's why they have to do the interviews, the vetting, because there's different checks that they have to check off. I've been on a jury before. Most people I talk to, they've never been selected to be on a jury. A lot of people show up to jury duty, but it's fewer people who've been selected. I've been selected, so I know how that process works. Everyone deserves to have representation, regardless of what your skin tone is.
The gallery won't be full of people watching the case, but we still have somebody who's died and someone accused of doing the killing, and it won't draw the attention that this case did. And their death is no less tragic than the tragic death of the young man in this case. And so, big trial, I guess, from an outsider's perspective and the social media and the media interest in the case. But crime still happens in Collin County, and every single person deserves to have as fair of a trial that Carmelo Anthony had.
He said it's fair of a trial that Carmelo Anthony had. No, don't. Who in this chat want the quality of trial that Carmelo Anthony had? Who? if everybody wanted that quality of a trial, everyone wouldn't be up in arms about what has happened. So, sir, the lies people tell. And he said, y'all, he's saying this bullshit with a straight face. Everybody deserves. I don't want that type of. What they say, that's the type of love I don't want to find me. Like this right here, what I'm showing on the screen, that's not something that I want to find me or anybody that I know, because nobody deserves to have a trial that went down like that. Everyone deserves to have a fair trial, regardless of what your skin tone is. And there was nothing fair about this trial. And I happen to be someone who feels like Carmelo Anthony does deserve time because he did unalive someone. I am one of those people. I do not agree with the actual charge, and I don't agree with the sentence, but I do feel like there should have been a charge. I feel like a manslaughter charge was more fitting. I feel like a sentence of 10 to 15 years was more fitting. I keep telling y'all, you need to go to Netflix and watch that story, The Crash, where Mackenzie, I think that's that damn white girl's name, she done killed up the boyfriend and his little black friend. He didn't even let the black boy caught her straight because he in the back seat. He not knowing that she trying to unalive the boyfriend. And because he just happened to be staying the night and being in the car with them because he decided he wanted to be grown after graduation, leave his parents' house, he ain't realizing that he in a damn car with a damn nut who going through it with her man, because he was just not prior to the accident trying to put her out, and he had locked her out the house. I don't even know how they got past that to where they hung out again, and then she unalived him in the car the way she was cutting up and threatening him. Y'all, that young lady got 15 years for each of the lives that she took, and the judge allowed for her to serve them consecutively, which means that after 15 years, she can go before the parole board to see if she can be granted parole. 15 years. So how does someone who take the life of two people intentionally, because if you watch the Netflix special, it brings all the receipts as to how this girl was just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, intentionally drove a car at 100 miles per hour into a wall, basically no signs of her hitting the brakes at all, and she about to be out in 15 if she's approved for parole, which I'm pretty sure Miss Mackenzie will be approved for parole. I think that's her damn name. But listen, so then this young man who took a life of one person when he alleges that it was for self-defense, he get 35 years. Make it make sense. One life, 35 years. Two lives, 30 years, but you're able to serve it consecutively, so 15 years. This that type of issue I be talking about, y'all.
Take on Carmelo Anthony.
I don't know. I really don't know.
You've had a lot of defendants in your courtroom.
I have had a lot of defendants in my courtroom. And I talked to Mr. Anthony a couple times because I'm legally required to go over some things with him. He seems like a nice young man who committed a crime. And he understands today, more than any day before today, the consequences of committing a crime like he did.
Last question.
Yes, sir.
The future of the justice system. What do you think about it when you realize you have all these social media influencers and citizen journalists?
I don't know. I hope that the judges that hear cases period, I was about to say high-profile cases, but that's not it. It's just any case, realizes the importance of their job, and their job is to be fair to the state and to the defendant and to protect the people that come before them and make just and right decisions based upon the law. And if we can do that, that's great. The influence of social media, I think, is going to continue to impact our communities everywhere. And I hope that we can rely upon our justice system to weed through the noise and find justice for everybody who comes through our doors.
This is a personal question I wanted to ask you.
Sure.
But do you understand why the legitimate media had to be a pain in your ass?
Legitimate media. There's this guy named Jobin, who I think was probably the worst of all of them. And no, I didn't understand how he could be that way. Look, I absolutely understand the media's role in all this. I mean, it's the First Amendment for a reason. It is absolutely the First Amendment for a reason. But at the same time, A defendant has a right to a fair trial, and the prosecution has a right to a fair trial. That's also in the Constitution. And so you just have to balance all those interests. And I'll honestly say, I think I balanced it well. And I know I made people mad, but I'm not here to make them happy either. I hope that the Metcalfs think that their son got a fair trial in this courtroom, as do I hope that the Anthony family thinks their son got a fair trial in this courtroom. I certainly think he did.
Did you feel the pressure of the other courts not being able to operate too?
So, of course, they're independent elected officials, and they can operate if they want to.
Yeah, and some of them have.
They have. They have. We're trying to cut down on the sheriff's duty of transporting back and forth and stuff. And so I asked them if they could modify the way they are operating in court. They could go to Zoom like we did for a long time. They could, pick days that we weren't here, like on that first Tuesday. Yeah, but it's up to them. It helped a lot that they cooperated. And by the way, that's one of the messages that I don't think I've been saying enough, is what we did here was a well-oiled machine. I've never seen a case.
You want that on the record?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Roll.
Okay. The case that we tried here in Collin County was a well-oiled machine. In Collin County, it should be the model for high-profile cases from here on out.
Oh, no.
And that's because we started 8 months ago, and I met with anybody from facilities to IT to the audiovisual people to the sheriff's office. We constantly came together and met to make sure that Collin County was going to be a focus for a minute. And we wanted to make sure that everybody understood that, number one, don't come around and mess with Collin County. And because we're here for a job, that job is to make sure that everybody gets a fair trial and everybody's safe. And we wanted to go seamlessly. And one thing that does worry me a little bit is people go, oh, this was a 5-day case with evidence. A 5-day case, it must have been cut and dried. I don't know if that's true or not. It was 5 days because I wasn't wasting anybody's time. Our community needed to heal quickly. They needed this case over one way or another. But the case had to be fair first. But we accomplished that. But it was a gargantuan effort by every single person involved in Collin County and outside Collin County. And so we're very, very proud of our county, all of our employees, all of our elected officials, all of our judges, everybody in getting this case tried quickly because our community needed it to heal.
Thank you, Judge, for talking with us.
Sure.
Yes, I believe that the reason why the case went so quickly is because a year ago, they already knew what the outcome was going to be. So there was no need for it to be drawn out for 2-3 weeks if they already knew the outcome. So he says, oh, I prepared for this trial for 8 months and this, that, and the third. The quality to me of this trial did not give that y'all really was putting that type of energy in it. It was given like, oh, we are sending this kid up the river. He unalive one of ours. See, that's what it comes down to. He took out one of ours, and that is a problem. That kid, it wouldn't have gone so quickly. He probably wouldn't even have gotten charged the way he got charged. But because he took out one of theirs, because what I've come to see in my little 45 years I've been on this planet is that things are different when the energy is directed to YT people. Like, they like, listen, y'all can do all that riffraff, do whatever over there in your neighborhood, in your neck of the woods. But when you overstep and you do it over here to ours, for whatever reason it may be, then that's a problem, because it's always unacceptable. It's never acceptable for you to take out one of ours. I don't care what we did. We are superior. We are the masters. You are to bow down to us. And I believe that it was intentional that the trial went the way it did, because that was the messaging that they wanted to send. And also was strategic and intentional for them to not to allow cameras in the courtroom, because they did not want the people as a collective to see the tomfoolery in real time, because the people collectively would have been outside at that courthouse expeditiously. Y'all know they would have. Everybody been like, oh, hell no. Listen, folks would have been getting on buses to go out there and to be outside of that courthouse if they were seeing this foolishness take place in real time. So as you see, he ain't into this whole social media things, because right now, social media is actually a good thing, because through social media, the truth is able to be put out there in a way that it never was before. And it can go out there super fast. Y'all seen out there, if you all were watching, because I was watching, everybody and their mama was a content creator for 4-5 days, however damn long they said that trial lasted. Everybody had their phone out. So all the shenanigans were caught on film. Everything was caught on film, so we weren't even dealing with a he say she say. Like, you literally could just see the people recording the shenanigans. Hence why, what's that racist guy, the J6 guy who's locked up now on a $1 million bail because he put a social media post saying if the jury don't get it right and do what they need to do with sending this young man up the river, then we gonna do street justice, basically. So he locked up, child, for play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So he locked up on a $1 million bail bond. But the people caught, remember, social media. So this man, no, he don't like social media, because social media is what got him caught up to why the people came to learn he had a relationship with the Metcalf family. That was by way of social media. So no, this man ain't here for the social media. But if you got something, if you got something to hide, yeah, and you live a suspect life, yeah, you don't be here for social media like that. You're not going to be here for a camera being in your face like that, because you got too much to hide. This man had a lot to hide. So speaking about people knowing the truth, I want to share a video that was sent to me right before I started this live, um, where a witness speaks about the video. So I haven't even watched the video. We're going to watch it together. And you all let me know in the comments your thoughts about what this witness has to say um, about the apparent video that does exist uh, surrounding the incident between Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony. So you all come on in, like the video, like, share, and subscribe. And let's get it. Happy Friday. All right. Fair use. Let's go.
So again, my name is Tony Sturdivant. I was one of the individuals that put in a FOIA request to see the video. What I saw was starkly different from the testimony that I heard given in the trial. There were 6 kids that walked up, 2 splintered off. I guess that part of, was introduced in the trial, where they went to deflect the coach. The other 4 walked directly to Carmelo Anthony. There was a brief conversation, I say maybe 20, 30 seconds, and from there, a scuffle ensued. It didn't last long. Carmelo backed up the canopy. He looked one way, looked to the left, and flew down those bleachers. Now, this is the video that was presented to us. This is the questions that I have, though. Why wasn't that video presented in court? And is it the true video? Because, again, it's starkly different from the testimony given in the trial. Carmelo Anthony flew down those bleachers, fell at the bottom of the bleachers, got up, took off. It was maybe 2 or 3 kids that you can see kind of give chase, but Carmelo was gone, so they weren't even going to put a finger on him and touch him. Again, there was a scuffle that ensued at the top of the bleachers, and Carmelo got it there. But I don't know why that was not brought up in court. I don't know why that was shown. I don't know if the ISD gave us a bogus-ass video. I don't know, but that's what I saw.
Several people have claimed that additional video footage exists in the Carmelo Anthony case that has not been publicly released. Some believe the footage could provide more context about what happened and may differ from certain witness accounts presented in court. Make that make sense. And like I always say, in the words of Johnny Taylor.
So you all hear that? The witness said he saw a version of a video that, for whatever reason, was not presented in court. Interesting. Let me see. This content creator, if you want to check out this video I'm watching, this content creator is Introvert Rockstar. So you can go and check out this video. But I want to play back what the gentleman said, because I want to just you all to hear it again. So please come on in, like the video.
Individuals that put in a FOIA request to see the video.
Now run the tape.
So again, my name is Tony Sturdivant. I was one of the individuals that put in a FOIA request to see the video. What I saw was starkly different from the testimony that I heard given in the trial. There were 6 kids that walked up, 2 splintered off. I guess that part of was introduced in the trial, where they went to deflect the coach. The other four walked directly to Carmelo Anthony. There was a brief conversation, I say maybe 20, 30 seconds, and from there, a scuffle ensued. It didn't last long. Carmelo backed up the canopy. He looked one way, looked to the left, and flew down those bleachers. Now, this is the video that was presented to us. This is the questions that I have, though. Why wasn't that video presented in court? And is it the true video? Because, again, it's starkly different from the testimony given in the trial. Carmelo Anthony flew down those bleachers, fell at the bottom of the bleachers, got up, took off. It was maybe 2 or 3 kids that you can see kind of give chase, but Carmelo was gone, so they weren't even going to put a finger on him and touch him. Again, there was a scuffle that ensued at the top of the bleachers, and Carmelo got it. I don't know why that was not brought up in court. I don't know why that was shown. I don't know if the ISD gave us a bogus ass video. I don't know, but that's what I saw.
Several people have claimed that additional video.
So here it is. Several people have claimed that additional video footage exists in the Carmelo Anthony case that has not been publicly released. Some believe the footage could provide more context about what happened and may differ from certain witness accounts presented in court. Again, the question is, 1, do you believe that there is a video that this witness, this gentleman described? Do you think it exists? Second, if you do believe it exists, why do you believe that it was not presented during the trial? What do you think could have been told to Carmelo Anthony and his family as to why they shouldn't show that video during the trial? Because remember, yesterday on my live, the mother, now that she's speaking out, because everybody talking, she's saying that they were delusional, meaning her and her husband, they were delusional about just the entire situation as far as with how the case would be handled, the best, the representation that they should have. She was like, listen, we were just delusional as it pertains to why we chose Mike Howard, the counsel that we had. We were told, listen, you need to go with a white attorney, and we just went with what people said that we should do, and we regret it. We wish that we would have had black counsel. My thing is, if they would have had white counsel, it's fine. Have a team. Long as there's a representation of you, just like we see in other people's trials. Like, you can have black, you can have white, but in a situation like this, and then and people keep saying, oh, this had nothing to do with race. 9 times out of 10, when an incident takes place between 2 people of a different race, it has everything to do with race. It has everything to do with race. So given that it was race involved, it made sense for him to have representation of himself. Meaning, someone said, well, representation has been a U.S. citizen. I have to look that up to read about what's classified as a jury of your peers. Someone said, yes, a jury of your peers is just someone who's a citizen. I don't know. Let's see. Hey, let's do that. Let me just go to the internet and just see what does it mean about jury of your peers. Because for me, when I think about jury of your peers, I think about representation of you as far as like your ethnicity. Like if you're white, you're black, you're Asian, you're Hispanic. That's what comes to mind for me. And I know that comes to mind for a lot of people. But let's look and see exactly like what really does that mean, so we can just kind of clear things up. All right, class, let's go. Welcome. Please like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Over here, I affectionately refer to my subscribers as honor students. Why? Because we are lifetime learners. We are not sheeps. We don't follow. Listen, we go seek out the information, and that is what we are doing right now, this Friday, in real time. So the question is, what does a jury of peers mean? So let's go. It says, I Googled it. Now I'm under just like it's an AI overview. So it says a jury of peers means your case is decided by an impartial representation cross-section of your community rather than a specifically chosen group of experts or government officials. It guarantees that fellow everyday citizens, not social status, race, or profession, will determine the verdict. What peers actually means, fellow citizen. Okay, fellow citizens. It means regular members of the public drawn at random from your local jurisdiction, your county, or state. Not exact matches. You are not entitled to a jury that shares your exact race, gender, race, or income. For example, a young male defendant will not necessarily be tried by young men. The origins of term. The phrase stems from the 1215 Magna Carta, which historically stated that English nobles were entitled to be judged by other nobles rather than by the king. In the modern United States, everyone is considered a legal equal. Thus, peers translate to your fellow citizens. So it says fellow citizens. But here's the thing. Let's go back to at the top. Fellow citizens is going to consist of representation of those that are in your community. Carmelo Anthony had black people in his community. They made up his community. So why there was no representation from that group, but there was representation from other groups. Again, I still do not believe that his jury was truly based on a jury of his peers, because it still should have had some type of representation of people that included black people. That should have happened. That's my stance on that. Let me know, what are your thoughts on that? I'll try to get through some of these comments to see what you're saying about this situation. Also, have you completed the poll? Let's see what the poll results are showing. Let's see. Okay, so question: do you think Carmelo Anthony got a fair trial? Yes, 68%. No, 32%. So both the majority of the people say yes, he got a fair trial. Yesterday, I talked about that Carmelo Anthony said that he's broke and he doesn't have the money that he would need to um, fight another case, to retain lawyers. And I was like, listen, that money's going to come, baby. Don't even worry about that. And so what I have been hearing, or what I have seen, is that Charleston White, he's we'll just call him an influencer on the internet. He speaks on a lot of different things, black men and black community. But he has said he is putting up $75,000 towards his legal fees, and he's trying to raise $1 million. Then I also learned today. I haven't stopped to try to research it just yet, but I've heard that supposedly, allegedly, Cardi B has said that she will put up $5 million for his legal fees. So if he just the $5 million alone, I don't even feel like he need even more than that. Like, he's good on that. He's good on that. So the money is coming here. So I just still hope that his family secures different counsel, a stronger attorneys. If he were to be granted a new trial, I do feel like he will be granted a new trial. From what I'm hearing from experts, people are saying they think that it probably would be closer to maybe 18 months or more. I was already saying probably 3 years minimum, because a lot of times I'm used to people requesting for new trials and them being denied the first few times, like not being approved, like they're denied, like out the gate the first time you're denied. So it's just like a process. So I think that it will happen, but it's just a matter of like when. But in the meantime, if he could, the money coming in, and he can have attorneys that are actually diligently like working and putting effort on his case, and do not have this mindset of completing it faster than a woman's menstrual cycle, I think that would be good. I think that would be good. What do you all think? What do you all think? Because this was some damn tomfoolery. Now, speaking of suspects, so I started out this live. Y'all come on in here. When I started out this live, I talked about, and it's in my title. I talked about the suspect behavior that people are talking about, Judge John Roach and DA Greg Willis. So right now I have the information in front of me pertaining to Greg Willis, and I want to share it. Have you all been hearing about the allegations of abuse against children, against women, and things like this as it pertains to um, Judge John Roach Jr.? Allegedly, there's been filed lawsuits that has been filed. There's other people on the internet who have been actually reviewing the paperwork, like the filing docs. I don't have access to those. Before I started this live, I did kind of like a search on the internet to see if I can find the information myself. But I didn't find, the legal docs, not yet. But I did find information on Collin County DA Greg Willis. So I want to share that, and you all let me know your thoughts about what it's saying about Greg Willis. So come on in here, like the video, like, share, and subscribe. So I asked, what are the claims of abuse against Judge Roach and prosecutor Gregory Willis? So it says Judge John Roach Jr. has not faced claims of workplace and SA abuse or harassment. However, Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis has faced severe, highly publicized federal lawsuit allegations detailing systematic workplace sexual harassment, grooming, physical misconduct, and retaliation. So how you got people being accused of doing egregious acts like that, determining the fate of somebody else? Like, that issue I be talking about that don't be making sense. The claims against DA Greg Willis. In late 2022, 6 current and former employees filed a detailed 75-page federal civil rights lawsuit against DA Greg Willis and his first assistant, Bill Worski. Much for the $2 super chat. He said, "Free Carmelo." That part. Listen, free that man. So where was I? So 75 civil rights lawsuit against DA Greg Willis and his first assistant, Bill Worski. The specific claims of abuse and misconduct included unwanted physical touching. Y'all hear that? Former chief investigator Kim Prickle alleged that Willis routinely gave her full frontal body hugs, pressed her breast against his chest, rubbed her lower back while moaning, and stroked her hand. Former prosecutor V. Kim Lay alleged Willis rubbed her arm while stating, "Sometimes I can't help myself," stroked her leg at a bar, and trapped her in a chair while massaging her shoulders. Y'all, these are the ones who sent Carmelo Anthony up the river. This is what we're getting into. Let me turn my light on. Brighten it up. Psychological manipulation. Child, these are a lot of charges. They got the wrong person locked up. Psychological manipulation and grooming. The lawsuit alleged that Willis forced employees to engage in odd role play scenarios. For example, he would pretend to be the employee and require the employee to act as the DA, which the lawsuit argued was a method used to groom, flirt, make sexual advances, and assert control. Environment. The lawsuit accused first assistant in systematic rejected Willis's advances or reported the behavior were allegedly berated, belittled, and faced career retaliation. The lawsuit also accused the Collin County Commissioner's Court and County Judge Chris Hill of actively covering up a systematic misconduct for years. So here it says the legal outcome of the Wills lawsuit. Denials. DA Greg Wills fiercely denied the allegations, calling them false, defamatory, and politically motivated. He publicly released audio recording of exit interviews and personal letters from employees to argue that the physical conduct, such as hugs, was consensual and mutually initiated. Okay, he didn't talk about the R. Kelly bumping and grinding that he was doing with the hugs. But anyway, the settlement. In April 2023, the case was solved when Collin County officials finalized a $1.75 million settlement with 6 plaintiffs. As part of the agreement, the sexual harassment claims were formally dropped from an amended complaint. The county's insurance paid the funds, and the plaintiffs resigned from their county positions. Gross. Distinguishing the abuse claims involving Judge Roach. While Judge Roach Jr. is completely clear of essay allegations attached to Will's abuse of power, claims have been leveled against him in entirely different contexts. Ethics violation. Judge Roach Jr. was issued a public admonition by the Texas Special Court of Review for an abuse of judicial prestige after he used his official office and courtroom to market a private family law book he co-authored. Malicious prosecution claims. In the Wooten versus Roach litigation, opponents claimed Roach Jr. participated in an abuse of legal process during his time as a local prosecutor, though those civil rights claims against him were dismissed under prosecutory immunity laws. So, y'all, these are the people who are making the decisions on Carmelo's faith. And this man talking about, yeah, it was a fair trial. It's my hope that everybody will be able to get the same type of trial that Carmelo Anthony got. What the hell, sir? The world is in the world is in shambles behind how this trial turned out. And then this is what you talking about, that this was the best trial ever. Like, he's like, yo, this is the trial that, like, to me, basically, I'm translating. He didn't say this, but this is basically what he's saying. This is the trial that law students should follow. You know how when you're in school and you're learning and you're studying and you have to watch and learn how to do certain things. Like, he's like, yo, like, this is a trial. Like, this is the one. This is the blueprint. This is the blueprint on how to conduct a trial. Crazy work. Like, y'all, you can't make this issue up. You cannot make this issue up. I believe in prayer. I believe there's strength in numbers. I believe that given that there are so many people who are rooting for Carmelo Anthony, I have faith that things are going to ultimately end up working out in his favor. I have faith that while he's in prison, he is going to be protected. I have faith that he will be granted a new trial. And when he is granted a new trial, he will be given a lesser sentence, and and then the time that he served will be able to be applied towards his sentence. That's what I feel. That's my belief. And I'm leaning in on faith on all of that. All of that. So let me get into some of these comments, see what y'all saying. Like the video, y'all. Happy Friday. Someone said Carmelo Anthony was not uninvited. See. Steven said if the Metcalfs were wrong, then call security. If the Metcalfs pushed or bullied Melo, then they can be suspended. Ken West said he was invited to the tent. He was invited to the tent. Like, he knew people. And dirty Eddie, that was the so-called friend who he was over there talking to. But though when Carmelo was over there having these which started out as the verbal altercations with Eddie's teammates, he want to get tight-lipped or at least not stand up for Carmelo. Word on the curb, people are saying that he actually was kind of instigating things over there. But the students did say that Eddie had a phone. So I can believe he was instigating, because a lot of times somebody who got their phone out recording, they moving their mouth too. It ain't that often somebody recording and it's kind of like silent when you're dealing with kids and school stuff. It's usually they talking. And so he said he had his phone up acting like he was recording. He said, no, I didn't record. I was just acting like I was like, bruh. Like, I know better than that. Kids don't act like they're recording. They damn record. They record everything. Where I live, if kids are caught recording, they get disciplined as though they were in the video footage doing the wrong, just for the fact that they recorded it. That's how they're dealt with where I live in Georgia. So miss me with I was just acting like I recorded. But that's what I'm talking about with how Carmelo Anthony had a piss poor defense team, because that team could have easily subpoenaed his phone records. They should have subpoenaed everybody's phone records who was on the list to testify. And including Hunter Metcalf, Austin's twin brother. They should have subpoenaed his phone records as well. Because y'all know kids be talking. And they gonna tell, like, a kid gonna lie to adults. But they ain't lying to each other. You cannot make me believe that none of these kids didn't get on their social media and start conversing. Y'all know how it goes. You been kids, you got kids, you get on your phone and you get the text and, oh my God. John got the hell knocked out of him. Girl, let me tell you what. I got the tea. Y'all know how they go. They give it all. These kids don't hold back. They don't hold back. They tell all the business. It's all in the phone. These kids live in their devices. I bet you the whole story, y'all, is in some of these phones that they did not subpoena the records for. Multiple people have said, so some people probably took pictures, multiple people probably even recorded, but I bet you there was communications in Snapchat, Instagram, text messages saying, oh my God, Austin, he was pushing up on this man, boy, he big as hell. Next thing you know, the boy who was smaller than him pulled out a knife and stabbed him. The kids be having all the tea. They be having all of it. So you mean to tell me that it didn't even cross your mind to try to subpoena them phone records to get the story? Because they would have had all of it. It would have been like a whole soap opera, reality show in them kids' phones. I don't care what you say. The kids would have had the truth, not the adults. The kids would have had the truth because they don't lie to each other. They're going to lie to an adult, but they have no reason to lie to one another. They have no reason to lie to one another. But to me, it's given that they did not want to know the truth. They did not need to know the truth because they already knew how they were going to handle the situation. They knew that a year ago. They knew that a long time ago. They just needed this process to do what it do. Like everyone's saying, everything about this case is just not the norm. It's so far from the norm to where there's when people think about any other case or even cases that are similar, they can't even think of any cases playing out the way this one. For one, you all, and let me know if you've seen it. I've never heard of like right before a judge. So throughout a trial, the jury is told, "Hey, this is a this is a murder trial, so it's either guilty or not." But right before they're released to go ponder on and come up with their verdict, they're told, oh, okay, we're going to throw out manslaughter. Manslaughter, you can consider that too. What? In the final hour, that was just thrown out there. The day they were released to go deliberate. Jury returns back still with the murder charge. Then he's like, okay. All right, I got this other charge. That's some passion shit, some passion crime, some shit I had never even heard of, y'all. He threw that out there to him. So it's just like, okay, well, what is this? Sir, we've been talking for the past, 4-5 days about a murder charge. What is this that you're putting on the table? Y'all, them people still didn't even go with that. They like, shit, murder. You put murder on the case, on the table. When we first started, you said it's murder or not, and we going with murder, period. What is you saying? We going with murder. Guilty. Oh, and 35 years. And people think that the 35-year sentence came from because if you cut that time in half, it's around like 17 years that he would have to do before he's able to go up for parole. And Austin was 17 years old unalive. So people think that the jury, they factored that in, and that was pretty much how they came up like with their number. Because y'all, the range was what 5 to 99 years. I ain't ever seen no range like that for a jury to have to consider, for anyone, a jury or a judge to have to consider in a trial on a guilty verdict. Like that's a really huge range, 5 to 99. So when you're given that type of range, I can see how that group of people, that the jurors were thinking about, okay, let's come up with a calculation type system. And then however the numbers work out with this calculation system we want to use, say centered around Austin, since it's centered around his life, let's come up with something that we can do that symbolizes Austin, and then it can get us to maybe a number that makes sense for Carmelo Anthony to be sentenced. That makes sense to me. So I can believe that someone's like, okay, well, Austin, he was, he's 17. So what if we do like a year for every year of his life? So you throw that out there. Then someone's like, no, that's too short. What if we times two, a year for every year of his life? Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I believe that was the logic, because when you have a range of 5 to 100, you just close your eyes, like you pull numbers out of a hat, and whatever number you pull, you're gonna go with that. Like, how do you come up with a number? That's crazy. That's crazy, because they didn't go with that other passion charge, whatever the hell that was, because that option was I think 1 to 20 years. It was, to me, it was a lot like the manslaughter. So I felt like, well, hell, if they didn't go with the manslaughter charge, then I don't see these people going with this charge, because it was the same type of like sentence. So then people came back murder. They already knew what the way it needed to be turned out. They already knew what the outcome needed to be. They knew what the outcome needed to be. And then the judge had told them multiple times, like, if y'all don't hurry up and do this, y'all gonna be sequestered. Y'all ain't gonna be able to go home. No cell phones, no nothing. You're not gonna. So these people like, oh hell no, I'm not trying to be no. Okay, y'all, what we gotta do? Do y'all understand the assignment? Because I want to go home. And then people made it happen. But I think they made it happen because the judge pressured them, because it's like, yo, if you don't turn this round in X amount of hours, this is what's going to happen. So they had pressure on them. Throw the whole trial away. Again, I repeat, I do feel like um, Carmelo Anthony deserves to do some jail time, prison time for unaliving Austin Metcalf. I do believe he deserves that. I just don't agree with the murder charge, and I don't agree with the 35-year sentence. I think he's overcharged. And people in my community, we see that every day. And that's why we're feeling and reacting the way we do, because it's just like, when is enough enough? You think you give us a Juneteenth and Black History Month and everything is supposed to be all good in the hood. Like, really, like, I feel like this is what these people do. They just want to throw us some little crumbs and say, all right, then here, now go sit down somewhere. So that's my thoughts. Let me look in these comments and see y'all feels. Have y'all completed the survey? Over 400 of you have completed the survey. I'll check it in a little bit. Let me try to get through some of these comments. Highway Pirate says he's got an attitude problem, which is why he went to protective custody immediately. Yes, I forgot to mention yesterday, because right before I got on live, I had learned that he was in protective custody. And I wondered, so I was just talking to someone, today. Then I talked to my mom about it. I was just brainstorming and trying to figure out like why he may have gone into the protective custody. Or solitary confinement. I think which is what I was hearing. I guess it's the same thing. Solitary confinement. You're just pretty much by yourself. My initial thought is, or when I think about reasoning, is for safety and protection. But I don't know how long that lasts for someone when they're going into an environment and their case is very publicized. I don't know how that works with how long the system will try to protect you. I don't know if it was like him choosing or asking, can he go into, that type of, I don't know how that works, because I don't know nothing about doing no damn time. But I think if that is the case and he's kind of by himself right now, I like that idea, because I just can't even imagine how his experience would be once he's released into general population. Remember, he's 18 now, so he's legally a man, but what they say, he's a man child. So he's a man, but he's a man child. Any of us who are parents who just know a little something about children is that just because someone has an 18th birthday, it doesn't mean that automatically they start thinking and moving as a functional adult. No, not at all, especially boys. So their brains and things are still developing, which also has to be factored in when children do crazy stuff, because their brains aren't fully developed. They're doing stupid stuff. So that's why children are dealt differently when it comes to consequences with the law, sentencing more often than not. And then we have those occasions where we'll see where someone is dealt with as an adult. And I feel like we see those cases more so with Black people than any other group when it comes to the case being tried as the person, then being an adult, because he was 17 when it happened, even though he's probably 18. He's 18 now, but he was 17 when everything happened. But so they're out the gate when he was charged, indicted, everything. It was like, hey, he's getting treated like an adult. But even though chronologically, legal wise, he's an adult, but as far as his development, his body, nothing about him is that of a functioning adult person. He's still developing. And parents, we know these things, which is why a lot of our children, when they're 18, they still live in our house. Or if they are at college or somewhere, we're still supporting them. We're still guiding them because we know, hey, just because you're 18, you're still learning. You're a young adult. So let me see. Highway Pirate says they did claim that they had no money to the court. They submitted their bank information, but let's be real, they hid all their money because of civil lawsuits coming. I can believe that because I would imagine a lot of times after a criminal case, the civil cases come, especially when the criminal case wasn't won. The civil, so they're like, okay, well, we're going to go the civil route. We're gonna go the civil route because I'm pretty sure with the Rick Chow, the Asian store clerk who unalived the 14-year-old Cyrus. I'm pretty sure that that family is. I know I would. I'm pretty sure that they are filing a lawsuit against the Chow family, or they will file a lawsuit against the Chow family. And I'm pretty sure the Metcalf family will be filing lawsuits as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they filed a lawsuit against the school. Makes sense to me. Those children were in the care of the school. They were at a school event, so therefore the school was responsible for them. So it makes sense to me for the school to be named in a lawsuit. So yeah, I can believe that. Yep, I can believe that. Will it work as far as with trying to hide money? I mean, hell, Tasha K, the content creator, she tried it with Cardi B, and then people found all them doggone accounts she had. So again, if you got good quality attorneys and you got the money to get the information you need, you can get to it. So Austin Metcalf's family, it's going to come down to, with the quality of their counsel, if they can kind of get to the nitty gritty, find all the receipts, they can make it happen. Because as we've seen time and time again, like the outcomes of court cases heavily falls on the quality of the counsel. Not even the facts, you all. It comes down to the quality of the counsel. The quality of a counsel. And the good attorneys, the ones that's badass, they charge a lot. They charge a lot. But with the Metcalf family, I can see an attorney willing, they would be willing to represent the Metcalf family and be on some type of we'll get paid on the back end. And you don't have to pay anything right now. That's what happens a lot of times when there's like a civil suit. They'll be like, yeah, don't worry about paying us right now because they're confident. That's why lawyers typically don't sign up for cases if they don't feel confident that they can win, because a lot of times they're forking up the expense of everything and banking on, kind of like, I think about it like real estate, like a real estate agent. So real estate agents, when if you're listing your house, you put your house up for sale, they're doing all these things to market your home, banking on it selling and them being recouping their money, their investment at closing. And the house don't always close. Just like an attorney, when they file a lawsuit, they don't always win. But they're banking on winning. So they'll be on some like, listen, don't even worry about, paying me nothing, because they know they about to get their 40% on the back end. So think about it. If you know you about to come up off 40% off of a multi-million dollar lawsuit, would you be willing to go in your own bank account to fight that case? If you're able to, and usually the good attorneys are able to because their bank accounts are fat from the wins. The more wins you have, the more money you make because you're getting a percentage of that. Yes, all day long. So we'll be hearing about lawsuits, and I will be here to report on them. Day one said it's just shocking of the outcome of the case. When he gets settled, he will be okay. Yeah, I have faith he will be okay. Right now, like the family said, they can't even reach him to give him his medication because what he be having, he got some type of medical condition. Is left me right now as far as with what type of medical condition he has. But they said after they hauled him off, I guess they wanted to go to the jail wherever to take him his medication, But they was like they had already, I guess, put him on a bus, whatever, to ship him away. I think he's maybe about an hour and a half away from Collin County. He's still in Texas, from my understanding. But the family said they weren't able to give him his medication. So, I don't know what happens. You all can talk about in the chat if you're familiar with that, when someone is sent away and they have a medical condition and they take medications, how long does it take before the system jumps on top of like their medical needs? I seen a lawsuit. It was a lawsuit here in Georgia a couple of months ago. It was a young man that was suing. I think it was DeKalb County. They were in the jailhouse in Stone Mountain, Georgia, and they had surgery. And right after surgery, what happened? I think they had surgery. They ended up going somehow, like something had happened. They went to jail. When they were in jail, they weren't being given their medication. So they caught infection. They caught infections. And he said he would be in pain because he was his legs, something, I can't remember the details, but y'all, like, he was like, I was crying out. People, the cellmates, people around would complain and say I smelled because the infection was making his wounds smell. And what was it? He ended up, as a result of that, he lost I think his legs. He lost some limbs because the infection. So by the time, I think it took maybe about a week or so for them to finally get him medical care, and he ended up going, having to go to the hospital. I think he probably went back to Grady. But the only way they was kind of able to save him was to amputate the limbs. So I think his fingers. I think he doesn't have fingers. He's a black guy, of course. Of course. He's black. But I think he don't have fingers. So that was something that had to be amputated. And he was in, I think, a wheelchair. So I think something dealing with his legs, I think they have to be amputated as well. But it was stemmed from infection, because coming off of the surgery or whatever he had, he was supposed to take a medicine, probably like an antibiotic, and he wasn't given that. And he said they knew, and he had told the jailhouse, hey, I have to take this. And they didn't. So I don't even know, you all, what the jailhouse response was to that, as far as how they even justified not giving him proper medical treatment. So again, as I think about Carmelo Anthony, and he has this medical condition that has for him to have to take medication, how on whatever kind of schedule he has to take it, the parents didn't even get a chance to give it to him before they shipped him up the river. Daywan said when he gets to where he's going, it takes a day or two. They have to look at his medical records to provide him with his needs. Okay, there you go. So listen, I just shared a story of how that didn't happen with a young man. He looked like the guy that I'm talking about. He was a young guy as well, maybe like 20, early 20s. Yeah. And I want to say, you all, too, when he was locked up, he wasn't even supposed to be there. I think it was on some wrongful arrest type stuff, too, y'all. It was crazy. But basically, it resulted in him losing some limbs because the Stone Mountain jailhouse didn't want to give him, his medication. So there's a lawsuit that he has against DeKalb County, because that jailhouse is in DeKalb County, here in the state of Georgia. DJ Johnson said wasn't bullied but was asked to leave 15 times. What, the 15 times? The 15 times is bullying. My thing is, I don't care if they asked them to leave 500 times. That doesn't warrant someone to put their hands on you. So let's just put ourselves in a situation where we're someplace and someone's asking you multiple times to do something, and for whatever reason you don't want to do it. Do you feel like it's okay for them to grab hold of you and forcefully make you do it? I would say most people would say no. You're going to be on some, hey, don't touch me, you don't need to be touching me type stuff. Whether it's a push or not, are you okay with somebody pushing you? Don't touch me. Because when you're touching people without permission, it is opening up that door for them to respond to you however they are going to respond to you. And it's going to be subjective as to how they respond to you. That's why it's best to keep your hands to yourself. Just keep your hands to yourself. Teach your children to keep their hands to themselves, because you can't control how the other person is going to respond or react when you choose to not keep your hands to yourself. You can't control that. You can hope that they don't react a certain way. You can feel they shouldn't react a certain way, but you can't control how they're going to react. That day, Austin Metcalf couldn't control how Carmelo Anthony reacted when he put his hands on him. And it is on the record in the testimony, Carmelo Anthony made it clear, don't put your hands on me because we're going to have some problems. Everyone testified of saying they heard him say that because there were threats prior to the incident. Prior to Carmelo Anthony stabbing Austin, there were verbal threats. All of the kids testified that Austin put his hands on Carmelo. Not one kid said that he did not touch that boy. Everybody said he did. The question came down to if they felt like Carmelo should have did all of that, but that's what I'm saying. When you do something to someone and you violate someone's personal space, you can't dictate how they respond to you. I can't go hit my neighbor and dictate how they respond to me. When I'm bold enough to go and do that, I have to be ready for whatever is going to come. See, life is about choices. Life is about choices. That's why I always say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So, yeah, it's in my opinion that he was overcharged. Should there have been a charge? Yes, sure. Should it have been a like a murder charge, the actual highest charge? No. Should have been a 35-year sentence? No. Mm-mm. Not at all. And I feel like once he gets a new trial, it's gonna be something, a sentence that's much less than 35 years. Much less. Something that's more reasonable. It's gonna be much less than 35 years. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, for me. Let's check the poll. Let's see where y'all at on this poll. We got over 500 people who have weighed in on the poll. Let's see. What we doing? Happy Friday. Have you liked the video? Please like the video. It helps us content creators with the algorithm. It's just so crazy. I love YouTube. I don't watch TV. I watch YouTube. Lately, as of late, and like this week, I've been doing content, but y'all, I've been on a damn break. I ain't been consistent since that man Charlie Kirk got off. And so I kind of fell back and just had to woo-saw. So I'm an avid watcher of content on YouTube. YouTube is my playground. And all you hear is content creators asking the watchers, can you please like the video? It helps with the algorithm. So a lot of people don't know, why it's such a big deal. But when you like the video, it just said, because they used to have even a dislike of the video. I don't even think they had that option anymore. It's just like you have to like the video or don't do anything. But even back when they had the dislike option, just long as you hit a button, it just helps with the algorithm. So therefore, the content can kind of circulate, and it's free. So if you ever wonder how you can support a content creator, just something as simple as just liking a video just goes a long way. It's not even always about the money. I don't really be on here asking about money. I appreciate it, but it's just not my thing. But what you will hear me ask for is a share, and a subscribe. All the things that are free. So let's check out our poll question. Do you think Carmelo Anthony got a fair trial? 71% yes. 29% no. But what's interesting is, you all, last night, and just in case if you weren't on that live, my poll was, do you think Carmelo Anthony will be granted a new trial? And it was like 60% that said no, and maybe about 16% that said yes, and another maybe around like 16% or something like that. It was low that said, I don't know. So it seems like as far as the people who are in my chat, it's mostly, to me, going off of just my polls, it's people who are not supporters of Carmelo Anthony. That's just, to me, the data. That's what I'm kind of taking from the data. It's people who aren't supporters. There's a lot of people who support him, but I think that in this internet space, when it comes to these chats and being vocal with their comments, I think you're hearing more from the ones who are not supporters of him. I think they're just louder with it. I think they're louder with it. And to me, racism, white supremacy had been for a long time trying to hide are now very evident. It's like the veil has been lifted. So we're really seeing and learning how people really feel about people, about other groups of people as a whole. You're hearing these nasty comments, like it's crazy. And my thing is, once the veil is lifted, there's no going back. It's like once you know something, you can't unknow it unless something happened to you. You lost your memory, you got amnesia, and like that. But otherwise, once you know something, you experience something, like that changes things. And right now, I think a lot of people in their relationships, it's changed. I think about too, I talked to my mom about this with like interracial relationship, and I even talked to my husband about this with how is it in the households with families that are blended, like with, white spouse, black spouse, like those type of households. It's just like, are they not talking about it? Like, I just think about things like that. Because throughout life, I've thought about that. Like, oh my God, I wonder what it'll be like being in an interracial relationship and I'm experiencing something and my partner not being able to really relate to what I'm talking about. Like, what would that look like? So when I think about that, it has me to be grateful that I did marry someone who is black, the same race as me, and that's not an added challenge that you already find in your relationships, as far as when it comes to race and having to have those conversations about unfair treatment, unjust things happening, whether it's out in the world or even to you in your family, because you feel like maybe your in-laws aren't nice or respectful to you. I've seen many compilation videos where there's biracial children that talks about as they were raised, hearing racial slurs and comments being made about a group of people that share the same blood with them. For example, a biracial child having a um, a black dad, a white mom, and them hearing usually more often than not when they tell their story, they're saying when they are around their white family, they'll hear racial comments made about black people, and it makes them feel uncomfortable because it's like the family don't even care that they are black too. They'll just say whatever. So they don't really encourage for people to just create these biracial children, because as they say, it put them in a tough spot. So these are the times we're in. We're just really seeing that racism is real and it's alive. Like Kamala Harris went on last, when she was campaigning to run for president, and she was being interviewed, and I think she was asked a question about racism, and she actually had the audacity to say she didn't feel like racism was a thing here in the U.S. See, these are the reasons why her ass ain't won nothing. And the only reason why she got that, the as far as she has gotten as of late, is by default. Because ain't nobody trying to hear a damn thing she trying to say, at least not people as a collective look like me. Because we done told them people multiple times we don't want her. And I don't know why they keep wasting their money putting it behind her. Because they can be putting that money towards Carmelo Anthony case. Because if you putting your little coin behind Kamala Harris, may the good Lord be with you. May the good Lord be with you. Um, Duchess says, if you respond with a gun or a knife, it's called murder. And why did this teenager go to the track meet with a weapon? The only reason I can see is that he was looking to start trouble. I don't think that if someone carries a weapon, they're looking to start trouble. My initial thought is if someone carries a weapon, they're prepared for whatever reason. So I think the question as far as like, why he didn't testify, a lot of people have that question and would have liked to have heard him testify or seen him on the stand testifying, is because a lot of people want to know, why did he have the knife? That is a fair question. I have that question, but I don't think that the assumption of him having it was him wanting to start mess. I don't think so at all. There's many reasons that it's subjective. There's many reasons we can sit and brainstorm as to why it was a small knife. It was only 3.5-inch blade. He could have had it in his bag from something he used it for prior to showing up to the track meet. How many of you have ever had, I know I did it, I went through the airport, I forgot I had my pocket knife in my purse. Since my husband, I go walking a lot, so I have a little, pocket knife he likes for me to just have something as protection. And I hadn't seen it. I'm like, what the hell my knife at? Child, going through the airport, you know how your stuff go through the belt, and it pushes it to the side because it sees something. And my husband's like, did you take your knife? You thinking your knife is in there? It was in my backpack, travel backpack. Y'all, I told you I've been wondering what the hell my knife was at. It was in my backpack, my travel backpack. So I guess I'd had it in there from whenever else. I probably traveled from maybe like a road trip or something. And they ended up finding the knife. It's like, there's my knife. And they were like, okay, this is Atlanta airport. They were like, you can take it back to your car or we can throw it away. And my husband and I think we had gotten dropped off. A family member had dropped us off at the airport. So I had to opt to have it thrown out. Another story, my husband and I were going on a cruise and we were leaving out of Miami. And uh, when we got to the Hartsfield airport, he realized he had one of his clips on him. So no weapon, but just the clip with the bullets. So it's just like, damn, okay, what am I going to do? So he went to the office, at the airport, and they were like, okay, well, you can check your bag. We can check it, it can go in your bag and it'll just go underneath the plane. It's like, all right, bet. So we did that. We got through the airport. So then when we get to Florida, Miami, and we're at the port to get on the ship, we're going through the metal detector. Guess what? They see the case. Them people were so shooketh and confused because in their training, they know what to do when they see a pew pew. But it seemed like they didn't know what to do when they only seen the clip. So it's just like, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do if it's a pew pew, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do if it's a clip without the pew pew. Child, them people had us held up for over an hour, probably like 2 hour, hour and a half at least, while they just had these conversations with different levels of staff management to try to figure out how to handle the situation. So I say all this to say that sometimes you will have something on you, and where you go, where your final destination is, you're not supposed to have it there, but you had it on you because where you was at before, you were able to have it. You see what I'm saying? So ultimately, with my husband with the clip, they were like, okay, we got to keep the clip. You can't take it with you on the boat. We were like, okay, well, is there an office or someplace where you can go store it? Because child, clips are expensive. Hell, every time the gun show come in town, he's visiting. Clips are expensive. So he's like, well, is there an office or something? Can you hold it? And then when we come back through, we can go back and pick it. They were like, no, you can't have it back. I don't understand why he couldn't get it back to where, you see what I'm saying? So sometimes things happen. So we can't just say, oh, well, my husband had a clip because he was up to no good. Or I had my pocket knife in my travel backpack because I was up to no good. I done told y'all what the scenario was as to how I had it. Makes sense, right? So that's what I'm saying. If this young man was on the stand, he could have spoken on, well, why he had it. I've heard that he had multiple jobs. I think they said maybe he worked at Foot Locker. Like, he also was a student, he was an athlete, and he was a worker. He was an employee. So who knows? He's a boy. Who knows why he had a pocket knife? And from what I've learned about the state of Texas, which is a place I've never been to other than kind of through a layover on a plane in Texas. So I've never just stepped on the soil in Texas. Um, they say that it's so common for people to walk around with pocket knives. It's like a thing there, walking around with a pocket knife. So it's not a big deal to have a pocket knife. But yes, we would be curious to know, okay, well, why'd you have it there? To hear why you have a pocket knife. That's what I'm saying, y'all. So everything isn't cut and dry. And I feel like with this case, people are trying to make it cut and dry. It makes a difference on what took place as you work to go from A to Z. Like, there's context there, and nobody want to stop and talk about the context. But if it were you, you want people to know all the context. Think about it. If it were you, you want people to know about all the context. Because I would want somebody to know about all the context if they catch me with, say, a knife on me. Well, let me tell you, child, I be going to walk in, everybody know I be walking. I forgot I damn had it on me because I be out there like damn Forrest Gump out there walking, run. Like I got to give the context. And somebody, it'll be like, oh, okay, shit, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I can see how that would happen. I can see how that would happen. Things happen, you all. Everything isn't really a big deal like that. That's why you have to stop and be willing to listen and not just jump to conclusion and judge. You're like, okay, yeah, talk to me. What now? What you say happened? All right, then. Well, why you didn't say that yesterday? We wouldn't even be here. Next time, just lead with what really happened. We ain't got to go through. Like, people just want to know. We just want to know what happened. And I think with Carmelo Anthony, the people wanted to know from his perspective what happened that day. Why did he have a knife? It makes a difference. Hopefully, and then I wonder, like, if he were to be, or when he's granted a new trial, would he testify? I feel like he should, because my thought process is the first time you didn't, and you seen how it turned out. So let's maybe try something different. Let's go with a different strategy, especially given that now that the trial is over, I'm sure he's learned that a lot of people were disappointed that he didn't testify on his own behalf. And I'm sure he's probably thinking, and even his family are just thinking about the decision for him not to, and possibly even regretting it. But again, they probably were going off of the recommendation of their piss poor counsel. Because then they tell you, listen to the lawyer because they know best. Yeah, clearly, we see that ain't always the case. But listen, what's done is done. You live and you learn, right? You live and you learn. Let me see. Ryan said, you think we are unjust like our government, and that's a lead to further conflict. And trust me, you people do not want that. So fall back. Um, Father, son, it's funny to hear racist people do mental gymnastics to make excuses for a murder. Yeah, I mean, as you live and you learn, and you see that there are a lot of people in this world who are delusional and who live in their bubble. And just because they don't have said experiences in the world, they can't even imagine or fathom the experiences of another group of people. You do not have to experience something for yourself to have an understanding of or sympathy as to what it could be like. But people, it's like they choose to not remove themselves from their comfort zone. Oh, it's not an option to consider things from another person's point of view. That's a limiting view when you can't stop and step into the thoughts of another person. And I see, to me right now, the reason why so many people are choosing to not do that when it comes to Carmelo Anthony is because of what he looks like. And I think that the sentiments would be very different if it wasn't a white boy who he unalived. If it was one of his own, one of our own, yet it wouldn't be this same crazy talk. But because it's one of yours, it's just like, oh hell no! Now you all common sense, rationale, and damn got thrown out the damn window. Throw them away forever, hang them, just craziness. But hey, what do you do? The words of Donald Glover: "This is America." What do you do? What do you do? We are together learning a lot of lessons from this case. And to me, a big lesson is that everybody is not your friend. Everybody is not for you, regardless of what their skin is, because not all black people are for you, just like not all white people are for you. Everybody is not for you. And when things happen, that's when a lot of times where we learn who we really dealing with. because when this situation happened with Carmelo Anthony, that is when he learned who he was dealing with as it pertains to Eddie, someone he thought was his friend, someone who he'd hung out with on multiple occasions, more than the 2 or 3 that he claimed to have hung out with him. This incident showed him that Eddie was not his friend. We're seeing a lot of things with clarity today. There's no takebacks. It is what it is. So as a result of that, people are now choosing to move differently as a result of now learning this new development. How about that? That's what smart people do. When you pivot, people are pivoting. Black people are pivoting. We're like, oh, okay, I see what type of time we're on. That's why a lot of black people are choosing to move differently when it comes to other groups of people, because now we're dealing with a hard reality that we don't have any allies. We are on our own. But we're coming together to show strength that, okay, we can be on our own, because clearly it's always been that way anyway. But we wanted to believe that there was somebody that was going to help us, because we've been here to help so many other people. But we're seeing that even though we've helped so many other people, and a lot, which resulted in them being able to have the freedom and the luxuries that they have in this country, i.e. Hispanics, Asians, we see that they still don't like us or don't care for us. So we're like, you know what? It took us a minute to really hear y'all, but we hear you now. So we're going to choose to do something and move around. Don't worry about it. And now that we're choosing to do that something and move around, and it's impacting the people's bottom line, it's just like, wait a minute. You ain't got to, okay, damn bitch, you doing too much now. Okay, damn, we said sorry. Like, no, we're like, no, we heard you loud and clear. You actually been saying it, but we hear you. We hear you. Black people, we are in the air right now. So those of you who are trying to understand us and how we're moving, why we're doing what we're doing, is that we are in the era of accepting the reality of a situation, and no longer choosing to live in delusion. Because many of us have chosen to live in delusion is because we didn't want to face the reality that nobody damn like us. Everybody wants to emulate us, be like us, but they don't want the struggle. Nobody likes us. They're not an ally because they're not out there on the walking the picket line with us. They're ready to throw us under the bus, like we seen with Eddie, how he threw Carmelo Anthony under, like they're just ready to throw us under the bus. So we like, okay, we see you. We see you. Say what they say less. Say less. So we're showing people, so you see it all across the internet, the compilations and things like that, where other groups of people's businesses and things like that, the supports that they once had from the Foundational Black Americans, stand for FBA, stands for Foundational Black Americans, if you ever hear that terminology. We're foundational, we're people who were the original people who were here. We don't come from Africa. We're not African. We go back being here on U.S. soil of at least 5 generations. So we're seeing that all other groups of people don't really like us. They don't like us. And I personally feel that the reason why that is that it's rooted out of fear. They fear us. They fear us. And I think even with that fear, it comes from the strength that they see in us. Because no matter how much adversity that we have or that we're shown, or how down at the bottom that we may be when it comes to other groups of people, still I rise. We still rise. We still thrive. They don't like that. We still gonna go to school and get those good grades. We still gonna work multiple jobs. We're still going to create those families. We're still going to go through the struggle on our jobs, but still come home and feed and take care of our family. We're still going to do all of the things. We're not going to lie down, ball up in a fetal position and cry, because we are not weak as a people. We're used to the struggle. It's not a good thing, but it's taught us how to be survivors. That's where our strength comes from. And people, they fear that. They envy that. They have a lot of feelings when it comes around it. They wonder, well, how? Or I wish I can be that way. How are you like that? I want to be like that. Only the honest ones are actually going to use their words and tell you that that's how they feel. But the haters, the ones that don't want to acknowledge your strength, is going to say all the other things, the negative things, the things to try to bring you down. But guess what? When you know who you are, none of that ish matter. You don't need somebody to come along and tell you who you are, because you already know who you are. And most Black people, the way we move, we know who we are. You're not going to roll up on us and just tell us any damn thing, just like that day with Carmelo Anthony. He didn't give a damn how big that boy and his brother was. He didn't care. He stood 10 toes down. He didn't care. That's the Black person's energy. You're not going to just tell us. You can throw your weight all day long, but it's not going to work out. You're not going to just tell us what to do. We're done with. You're not doing that. You're not doing that. And it's so crazy that we can be the most hated, but the most emulated as well. Our culture is so emulated by so many other groups. Why y'all think people go to tanning beds, tanning shops? I had a white friend. It wasn't an option for her to wear shorts if she hadn't gone to the tanning bed to get her tan. I said, well, hell damn, if I can accept your whiteness, why the hell you can't? She was like, bitch, I can't go outside with my legs. That is not an option. I am not doing it. And I'm like, bitch, if I can accept your whiteness, why can't you? You see what I'm saying? What does that mean to you all when white people are going to the tanning bed? Whose skin is brown? Whose skin is brown? What does that mean to you when white people are going to get the lip injections? Whose lips are full? Not mine. But my people lips are full. But they're wanting to emulate that. Who butt is big, round, and juicy? That's the Black woman. They want to emulate all that. They want all of that. The natural curves, the things that's natural to us, they want to go and do whatever they can do to get that. You're not hearing any other groups of people, damn sure not no white one online talking about, I'm trying to emulate that flat ass like Becky. I'm just saying, I've never heard it. I have never heard it. I ain't never heard it. I don't know what you heard. I've never heard it. I've never heard it. When people are in conversations and wanting to have deep discussions about lineage and families and cultures, it's that Blackness. It's just like, damn, now what you say, now where y'all come from? Damn, how y'all food tastes like that? Have y'all seen them compilations with them white people finally tasting food with seasoning on it? Change their goddamn life and soul. It's those things. Can you imagine people on this chat all your life? You ate food with no seasoning, and then that day you taste seasoning. Okay, so Black people, this is what we got to do. Think about the good food that you've just spent all your life tasting. Imagine if you hadn't had that, and on Sunday, this past Sunday, you had your first plate. That's some slap your mama type shit, because ain't no way you thinking that you done went all your life without eating like that. That's how these white people be on the internet responding when they eat just our food. Also, have y'all seen the compilations with the Black effect when the white man get with the goddamn Black woman? Don't get me started. I have never seen a white man to where when he stopped dating the white woman and started dating the Black woman, he didn't damn elevate. Y'all see that? Like, it's just like he'd be like a whole different person. Just by, you can think of what Travis Kelce was that? Yeah, Travis Kelce, that's the football player, right? Y'all remember when he was with the Black girl and he had the fade? They was calling it the Travis fade when he had the Black person's fade. But they was calling it the Kelce fade. So when the boys, when they go to the barbershop, they was like, yo, they wanted that Kelce fade. And he was saying, yo, yeah, people like the Kelce. I'd be like, no, I mean, this ain't mine. He had that tight fade. Soon as he got the goddamn with Taylor Swift, that shit, he had inches. He went from having a fucking fade to the inches. Y'all see the change up with the look? Now, people in the chat, let's be honest. Which version of Travis Kelce would you take? I done told y'all how he was looking when he was with the other girl. What was her name? Kyla. Is there Kyla? What was Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend named the Black girl? I think it started with a K. Remember, he was with her. Then he got with Taylor. So everything about he just completely just changed. He just completely changed. Just like, damn, who that is? Like, it was like, who is that? But this is what I'm saying. This is just the swag. This is just what we as Black people do, whether we are man or woman. We bring a different type of sauce to the situation. And there are so many people who don't like that. because they're unable to, they want to emulate it, but they can't really pull it off. It's like when they try to pull it off, it don't really come off right. It don't really come off right. So the best they'll try to do is align and maybe try to get in a relationship with maybe a black person and try to kind of get in through the back door kind of within the culture, because otherwise they can't do it. But that's the thing. It's embedded in us. This being all that I am, I can't teach it. I can't teach it. I'm just me. But I know the white people, they don't like that. They don't like the strength in me or the strength in my brothers. They don't like that. So they want to try to bring us down some notches so we can stay in our place. Y'all ever hear the story with how the black women, the reason why they was wearing the head wraps is because the white women didn't like how their white men were looking and marvel and oohing and awing over the black woman, that woman who was nursing their babies. They didn't like their hair showing. It's like, no, she needs to cover her hair. So that's where I learned that where the head wraps came. But y'all know the thing about us, y'all, we gonna goddamn make some, oh, okay, you said I need to cover my hair. Oh, but you ain't said nothing but a word. This is finna be the baddest head wrap, the hat. You ain't said nothing. By the time you see me step outside with this wrap, you gonna be like, bitch, I need the afro step, because you killing it with the wrap. That is where it came from, with the beautiful skin, with the wraps and things, with the beautiful color and stuff, because it was like, oh, okay, you want me to cover my hair? All right, bet. Because you all, when we come through with something, it's never like plain. Y'all know we got to put that extra sauce on shit. Yeah, that's why people like the black people around, because we just got to put that extra oomph on it. We do that extra shit that don't nobody do. That's why you see the Asian online talking with us, got the cadence. You see the white person online. You don't really see it too often where it's the other groups of people, or like the black people trying to emulate other groups of people with their, how they speak and stuff. No, no, no. It's the black way. You're not getting you're not getting cred for talking like Carlton from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You're gonna get beat up. You're not getting cred for that. You're gonna get knocked the hell out. So the only how you start to get cred is when you start to somehow try your best to reflect that energy, that assertiveness that people like me have. Then people will kind of be like, oh, okay. But then you still F it up, because you can't end, you try, but more often than not, it don't come off right. People, people see that it's fake. I mean, it's not you. I don't encourage for you to be anybody other than yourself. What I'm saying is accept who you are and allow us to be who we are, and not try to have us to feel a certain type of way for being who we are, because we're going to continue to stay the way we are. This is how we were created. We were gods. We were the first people. I don't know if some of y'all know, but every group of people came from the black woman. The black person was the original person. The black person was the original person. That's why when you go to all these different countries, you'll see people that look like black people that got some features. They got the big lips, the big nose, the afro, because there is black in them. We are in everybody. We are in everybody. But when you look at the power hierarchy or the social economic status, we're at the bottom. But how the fuck we at the bottom, y'all? But though we are the biggest spenders and the biggest supporters when it comes to like keeping the things, products and things circulating. So when these Asians recently are, started saying slick shit, we said, oh, okay, I hear what you're saying, because as quiet as it kept, white people don't support Asian businesses. Have y'all ever, let me know, black women, have you ever gone into the Asian beauty supply and seen another Asian customer standing in line before you to check out and buy something? Because I ain't never seen that yet. I ain't never seen a white person in no Asian beauty supply. They go to Sally's. I've never seen that. So I don't fucking know if by the holidays, if Becky Sue finna goddamn be laying her edges down with the brush, because now she gonna have to go on over there to the Asian store to show support. If Becky Sue finna be wearing goddamn 3-inch lashes and bonnets for the holidays because Keisha ain't taking her ass in there, because I don't know who finna buy them products. Because I don't even, when I go to the Chinese restaurant, I ain't never even seen a Chinese family eating in a damn Chinese restaurant. Black people be up in there. So the day you talk about what you don't need, all right, then, we hear you. We hear you. Got it. Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. So this right here, with this trial, you all, there's so many, please come on in and hit the like button. There are so many lessons to be learned. And a key lesson is everybody is not for you. Everybody ain't for you. What they say, everything happened for a reason. Carmelo's situation is something that for forever, like it's going to be talked about, because his case, it opened up a conversation, a much needed conversation. And that conversation has been centered around Black people coming together in a way that we haven't in a really long time. I'm going to say that. Because there was a time, let's just say, when during the civil rights era, where Black people collectively came together more than what you see in today's time. But I see that shift changing. Oh, but it's a new day today. Oh, it's a new day. We are on code. And here's the thing about us as Black people. We don't have to even use our words to one another. We have this ability to where between our energies, it's understood what the assignment is. So a lot of other groups of people are like, damn, where is the Black people meeting? How do they all know not to do this? How do they all, when was the meeting? John, you didn't tell me that there was a fucking meeting. Well Bob, it wasn't a meeting. It had to have been a meeting. How the fuck are they all on code doing the same thing? It had to. What do you mean it wasn't a meeting? It wasn't a meeting. See, we can communicate with one another without using words. It's the energy, it's the spirit that we have with us that we can communicate. Even going back to the slavery days, the women, where the whole pretty braid patterns and all of that came from, y'all. That came from creating the map for when they made that decision that fuck, hey, Pastor, fuck, Master, we about to break away tonight, y'all. We out. Whoever ain't ready by sundown, you getting goddamn left. So what they would do, they would create the braids and with the different patterns and stuff, because that was the map of where they were supposed to be going. So the map was braided in their hair. That was the pattern. So that's the history of the different unique French braids, the braids on the scalp, the cornrows. That's the history of that. So we have a way of communicating with one another without vocally using words or saying, hey, we're all meeting up at the Piggly Wiggly at 7:00. We don't have to do all that. Right now, what we're seeing, it's understood to people who look like me that it's time that we stand on business. This is what that looks like. It was no meeting. It was no meeting. It's understood. We understand the assignment. Black people are very spiritual people. We're able to still communicate with one another. It's this energetic. So many Black people, you all, and some of you in this chat may have experienced, they've said, like, dang, since this whole trial, my spirit, because we're energetic people, they're like, my spirit ain't right. So when we start talking about our spirit, our energy, we're communicating with one another, because it's like, sis, I feel that spirit. So then our communication is saying, I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. We ain't even said what we need to do, but we just know. And next thing you know, we're both moving the same. We're both choosing to not go into this particular establishment, support this business. We're choosing not to. And we never met up and said that, but we got on one energetic accord. So this is what people are seeing out here taking place with Black people, and they piss the hell off. Oh my God. These people out here are so fucking mad at us. And we ain't even done nothing. They're mad at us just for our being. Because it's just like, damn, why I keep doing this over and over to you and you're still here. You're still here. You're still rising. You're still showing strength. Like, what the fuck? Like, what am I doing? They're angry because it's just like they're at a loss. They're like, what am I don't know what to do, Black man, Black woman. Why do you do that? I literally have experienced working for someone who tried to shit on me, lie on me, and everything. And the way they were in the wrong not through words. Because here's the thing, people, want you to know, you can win battles. You can fight a battle and win and not ever even have a verbal confrontation with someone. It can be done. Action speaks louder than words. So when I did that, when I fought it through my actions, the feedback I got from this person was like, I've never worked or met anyone like you. Because what it was is I was on some I can show you better than I can tell you type stuff. Because I know that the way that I'm going to show up and show out, it ain't going to be shit you can say to me about anything. So that's how I move in all aspects of my life. I'm a show me type of person. It's just my personality. I don't give a shit what you saying. What is your action? Let me see. What is your action? What type of action? What type of time are you on? I'm an action person. And people respect people like that because this person knew that they had shitted on me. But in spite of them doing that, they seen how I overcame that. And it was so fucking obvious and apparent to where they had no other choice but to say, you know what, that money I fucked you out of, here you go, sis. Oh, and by the way, I ain't never worked with nobody like you. I bet the fuck you haven't, but most of the time when you're dealing with black people, we're one of a kind. You ain't never seen nothing like us. You ain't never worked with nobody like us because we're different. We are a special group of people, which is why everybody wants to siphon our energy and be in our space. You don't ever hear conversations about people fighting to be in the white tee, going to a white tea goddamn cook-off. I ain't never even been to be honest, I ain't never even been to a white tea cook-off. I don't even know. Y'all let me know in the damn comments what they damn beans taste like, what they potato salad tastes like. Because I know I ain't never been with the goddamn raisins in the potato salad. But word on the curb is that they be putting some goddamn raisins in that shit. Listen, Linda, listen. I can't goddamn do it. I can't do it. So think about it. When have you ever heard somebody be like, goddamn, Becky and shit, she said they thought they grilling on Saturday, they grilling at 2:00. You ain't never heard. It's about who's invited to the black cookout. See, you all, these are all the reasons why they hate on us. Because even though we quote unquote ain't got shit, you want to be over here in our space with the people who ain't got shit. But what we come from is that so people in this chat, how many of you have ever you were like an adult when you learned that y'all goddamn family was poor? I want to use that as an example because there are a lot of people who grew up without having, but they didn't even know that. They didn't feel that because the way that they were raised and the energy and the love that they got and the spirit, all of those things that didn't have shit to do with some Air Jordan tennis shoes, a Coach purse back then that was the hot purse, a gold chain. Those things didn't matter because the shit that did matter, they had all of that. So they've gotten about 25, 30 when they realized that they was poor as shit and they didn't have nothing. This is what I'm talking about. Is because we were rich in our soul and our energy and our moral compass to where it wasn't about our bank account. So how is it that we ain't got shit, but everybody still want to come over to our place? Well, we ain't got shit but some goddamn baked beans. We got some ribs. We got some potato salad without no fucking damn raisins in it. We got some Kool-Aid. we got some hot links. We got some neck bones. We got all that shit and everybody trying to get a plate. But remember, we the ones that ain't got shit, but everybody want to come over to us. Why is that, y'all? This is the shit they be hating on. They don't like that shit. They don't like that shit. It's like, how the fuck that bitch ain't got shit, but she's still shitting on them? How the fuck that bitch, she bald headed, she ain't got no hair, but her fucking body still tea and she's still shitting on her. They be shooketh. I understand that energy myself. How is it this bitch, you said she what, 45, been married, what, 22 years? What? The devil is a goddamn lie, bitch. How are you doing it? Y'all, I don't know how many of y'all know what I look like full body, but your girl is 45, body snatched with fucking 3 kids, age 21, 17 about to be 18 and 16, and I've been married 22 years come October. That is my resume. Oh, them motherfuckers be shooked when they learn my damn resume. They be like, damn, how? And the ones that be shooked don't look shit like me. And a lot of them ain't even got no kids, but bodies looking like they done had about 10. Bodies built like damn refrigerators. Oh, looking old as shit. But I rise because it's the energy in me. It's the God in me. That's why I'm able to move the way I move. I know who I am. I move with confidence, and people don't like that, but I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit because I'm going to show up as me every day, not some of the time, all the goddamn time. This is what I do. I know no other way. So anybody who encounter me, they see that. They see that. They see that, and they wonder how. I can't tell you all that. But what I will tell you is that I'm a spiritual woman. I'm a woman of faith. I know who I am. I'm confident. I'm secure. That's why I can not wear makeup. It's because I'm secure in who I am. That's why I can wear hair, wear long locks. That's why I can cut my hair off and wear it short. That's why I can wear the big Angela David afros. That's why I can wear the braids and still get the same type of response and energy from the people, because it's rooted in me knowing who I am. It's rooted in me knowing who I am. And I encourage for you all to get to know and to learn who you are, because it makes a difference. It makes a difference. People respect people who stand up for themselves and who know who the fuck they are, because they can sense it. They can sense when someone's a coward. They can sense when someone's afraid. They can sense when someone's confident. They know when someone's assertive. You get a different response when they pick up these energies. That day when Carmelo Anthony stabbed that white young boy, in that moment, that he pissed them off, because Carmelo Anthony didn't give a shit how goddamn big they damn was. He didn't give a damn. He didn't give a damn. He didn't care. Carmelo Anthony was what, 130 pounds? These boys was over 200 pounds. He didn't care. And they like, wait a minute, like, why aren't you responding like all the other people we stepped to? Because Carmelo Anthony knew who he was, and he knew that he did not have to leave, and he did not have to allow for them to scare him and trick him out of his spot. He knew that he was able to lawfully be exactly where he was. Just as you should know lawfully that you're able to be exactly where you are. I like to say, and I tell people, when you know who you are, can't nobody else come along and tell you differently. Somebody shouldn't be able to come along and tell you your name is something that it's not. Only how they can do that is when you didn't know who the hell you were to begin with. That's how people start changing, because they didn't know who they were to begin with, meaning they didn't have a solid, strong foundation. Know who you are. Walk with your head up. Be confident. They don't like that. But guess what? We don't give a damn. We don't give a damn. And that's what people are upset about, that we don't give a damn. We don't care what other people think about us. That's as a collective of Black people. We don't care. And a lot of groups wish that they could be more like that. Like, damn, how do you just not care? It can just be confident. Like, how? They just have all these questions. I've sometimes been in rooms where, like, I feel like I'm just like on exhibit, where people are just asking me just these questions that just, it's like, I'm just me. I just do this. What do you mean? You mean you don't go and go to doctors and get appointments and do stuff to your skin? No, I don't do none of that. I'm just me. I drink my water, mind my business, get my steps in. Y'all, this shit really ain't deeper than that. I mean, I tell you what I do, but it ain't a goddamn lot to it. You know, it's real basic over here. But it stems from my energy, what type of person I am, what type of soul do I have. Gloria says, you're blessed. Thank you so much. Blessings to you. Like, and you all, to get to a place of confidence, it's not an overnight thing. Who I am today, like, look, I told you I'm 45 years old. I've worked to get to this place. It's a journey. But it has to be your goal and your mission to get to that place. And it's going to start with you identifying things or people that don't serve you or no longer serve you. Cleansing yourself of that negative energy. That it starts there. Telling somebody hell no when they want you to do something that you don't want to do. Standing 10 toes down on that. It starts there. You might scare the hell out of them when you tell them hell no the first few times, but eventually they'll stop damn asking. They'll stop damn asking. So, it starts there. So that's my journey. I'm like, I have to start saying hell no instead of yes to everyone. I'm not doing that no more. I'm not doing that no more. And you shouldn't either. And that day, Carmelo said hell no. Because how many times, we don't know if maybe in the past he obliged to things that he really didn't want to. But that was a day where he was like, I'm not doing that today. Today is a new day. Today is a new day. We're doing something different. So sit your big ass down because I ain't going to like that's what type of time he's on. And it's unfortunate that the situation ended the way it did. But had that young man kept his hands to himself, then he'd still be here. Moral of the story, keep your damn hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't start none, won't be none. Keep your hands to yourself. Hopefully the twin brother learned his lesson from his brother. I hope that he never try to just step in the face of somebody again. I damn sure hope that he learned his lesson, because it ended up being a really small person who put that boy down. It wasn't even a big person the size of him. It was someone way smaller than him. So I'm sure that has to do something to the brother Hunter, when he think about his brother no longer being there and the person who did it, the size of the person who did it. A small black man who they've always deemed as weak took his brother out. That got to be messing with his head. But it was rooted in his brother overstepping his boundaries, being disrespectful, and breaking the initial law of violating someone, touching someone. The brother Austin was in violation. When you look at it from a legal aspect, he was in violation before Carmelo Anthony, because he put his hands on Carmelo Anthony. So that can fall into an assault charge. You touched me. An assault charge has no bearing on how hard or how soft somebody touched you. It's the fact that they touched you, that it was unwanted contact, unwanted physical contact, ungranted physical contact. That's what took place that day. So he was in violation first. He was in violation first. Then Carmelo then did what he did. So let's not talk about some of it. We're going to talk about all of it. We're going to talk about all of it. Moral of the story, keep your damn hands to yourself. Don't start now, won't be nothing. Don't argue with me. Argue with your mama. Keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. I wonder when going to be the next time Hunter going to be trying to put his damn hands on somebody. And if he do choose to go out there and put his hands on somebody, that's when you going to know that he a village idiot. Because ain't no way, based off of the fact that his brother lost his life after putting his hands on somebody, should that man ever go around touching any damn body. Ever in life, regardless of race they are. Regardless of the race they are. That should be his lesson. To where his story is, no, I don't have physical contact with people like that. I watched my brother lose his life following pushing someone. I don't do that. Now, if somebody steps to me and tries to, put their hands on me, by all means, I'm going to defend myself. But what I'm not going to do anymore is be the aggressor and put my hands on someone. I've learned my lesson. That needs to be Hunter's story. Because smart people learn from situations. And this is a situation that the world should learn from. You don't put your hands on people. Keep your hands, feet, limbs, whatever. Keep it to yourself. Don't go around touching people. Don't go around touching people. Just don't. It's not that hard. Like, it's really not that hard. We teach our kids, well, you should be teaching your kids when they're just knee high, not to hit. Responsible parents teach your kids, hey, don't hit. Keep your hands to yourself. Put your hands in your lap. Fold your hands, cross your hands. Y'all, those are little things that we've been teaching the little people since forever, at least in the Black community. That's how we've been teaching our kids. So to grow up, like, you know better. You know better. You chose to do whatever the hell you did. Okay, well, unfortunately, it resulted in the loss of someone's life who chose to become aggressive with someone who wasn't aggressive with them. I don't care if the damn Carmela cussed his ass out and called him everything, talked about his damn mama, his grandmama. Like, I don't care what that man said. It didn't warrant for Austin to touch Carmelo Anthony. It did not warrant that. And a fair jury would be able to understand that, to where that's where the charge come in there, to where it's not the murder charge, but the manslaughter charge. Because as I say, it's about the context, all the things that happens in between the A and the Z. You need to have all of that. And I assure you that in any situations that you ever have been or will be in, you're going to want all of that to be heard. All of that. Well, John, why didn't you meet the deadline for completing the project? You know, it was on Friday, February 13th. You ain't going to want to try to tell them why the fuck you couldn't meet the deadline? Or you going to be okay with, okay, the deadline came. All right, then I'm gone. I'm okay with this damn getting this write-up or getting fired. No, you're going to say, well, what happened is there was an accident. I had to take my son to the hospital. It delayed me. I couldn't work. Like you're going to want that. That's what the fuck the context is talking. When I say context, I'm talking about all of that. There is a story. There's always more to it. So just because you want people to know the more to it shit about your situation, why he got to be exempt? Why you don't want the more to it about his situation? That's what I'm saying, y'all. Like, how do you want things on just done on you? It's like what they say: do on to others as you want done unto you. So I want people to have grace for me. So I want to have grace for others. You see how this works? See, this would have looked like, us black. This is what we do. You have grace for me. I have grace for you. It's a kind of a give and take type thing. And I feel like a lot of the white tea people, they don't want to have the grace part, but they damn sure want the grace to be held on them. And it's like, how does that work? How does that work? But like I said, we're learning and we're choosing to, what you call it, delineate. We're choosing to separate. And so you're just seeing a lot of black people saying, you know what, you got it. I'm going to just go ahead. I'm gonna move around. I'm gonna do something different. It's not going to involve you or your people, because clearly y'all own some extra stuff to where you don't give a damn about me or mine. So I'm going to demonstrate that same energy. Black people today, FBA, foundational black people, are demonstrating that same energy where we're like, okay, you don't give a damn about me or mine. You didn't give a damn about our child, our 14-year-old son, loved one, who was gunned down because you thought he stole a 99-cent bottle of water, because the son's testimony was that that's about how much the bottled water would have cost. You thought that he stole it, so you literally chased him down the length of a football field, they say, and you gunned him down, shot him in the back, and you still expect for us to show up to patronize your business? Nah, we good. Don't even worry about it. Never mind. So that is what you're seeing right now. We're on some, we've for years been utilizing your businesses, but now we're at a point to where we're willing to step out of our comfort zone and experience a different establishment. Yeah, we're used to going to the nail salon, the Asian, they do our feet, but we do have black people that can do stuff like that. And we just never really, because of convenience, they're not as accessible. So we never really try to kind of utilize their services. But now I bet you a lot of black establishments are going to see an increase in their business. I bet you they're seeing it now. For the last couple of days, I've been on the internet Googling black nail techs in my area. And I came up with at least 3 of them, 3 or 4. I just had to narrow down which one I'm going to do based off of the type of service that I want. But I'd never done anything like that, you all. So look at, this is me. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone to try to do something I never done before for a bigger cause. So remember, I told y'all that us as black people, we can move in a way without having group meetups and stuff. We all be on that same accord when we know it's time. This is what that is. I guarantee you there are so many other people that look like me that is doing the same exact thing. There are about to be so many black businesses, beauty supplies, salons that are about to be blessed to where they're going to be like, damn, I can't, I got so much business. I got to hire, like they're going, it's probably going to stress them out. It's like going to be like it's a gift, but at the same time, a lot of times what I'm seeing is like with the black nail techs, they don't have a shop with multiple people working in them. It's just them. So when you book your appointment, like you have to book an appointment because it's just them. It's not like, going to a nail salon and you can walk in and there's maybe like 5 people who can probably provide you a service. That's not how it is with like the black nail techs. They're not there at this point where they have a building and they have multiple techs that work in there. It's not, you probably have some sprinkle here and there, but even all of the 3 or 4 that I found in my community, it's not like that. They have just this space and it's just them. So they're really big on like you showing up by appointment. So that's the part that I'm going to have to, even though I make appointments with my nail tech, I can literally make appointment that same day. Like I can be still kind of last minute, but with the black tech, I'm going to have to put more thought and planning. Like, okay, kind of like with the hair salon, usually with us black women, like we plan like some at least a couple of weeks in advance for an appointment. So it's going to have to be on some time like that where I have to kind of give like a good bit of some time, to try to book an appointment and plan and commit. Okay, I am going. So it's going to be different, it's going to be different, but it's worth it. It's worth it. This is just where we are. It's worth it. I got to do what I got to do, right? And this is what a lot of black people like me feel. We feel like, listen, we got to do what we got to do. In the beginning, it's going to feel like an inconvenience, but we'll get used to it. As these black businesses are getting the clientele, they'll be able to expand and hire more workers and things like that. And then it won't be uncommon to see actual nail salons where there's multiple people who are there who can provide you a service. Kind of like how we can easily see a hair salon or a barbershop. So hopefully we'll get to that point with when it comes to nail salons with the black community, they'll be just as accessible as those other services. So it's going to take time, but I mean, it's worth it. This is where we are. And these other groups of people are feeling it. And they're like, damn, like, why? I mean, damn, that, dude, he didn't speak for me. It's like one person. See, a lot of these Asians are feeling like one person messed it up for everybody, but it's not really about one person. Black people have been seeing and experiencing mistreatment from other groups of people, in particular Asians, since I'm talking about Asians right now, for a really long time, experiencing them following us. I remember one time at one beauty supply where one was like following me out the store. And I think as I was leaving, because I ended up not buying anything from them, I guess they didn't see me put back maybe the initial item I picked up. And as I'm walking out the store, I asked about the item or whatever. And I'm like, I don't have the item. I put that item back, but I never went back to that beauty supply. I never went back there. So we've been experiencing some things for a long time. Some of us not consistently, because that was just a one-off experience I had. But right now, we're like, you know what? There's no better time than now to start doing something different. There's no better time than to start doing something different. So we're moving different right now. Even when it comes to voting, black people are moving differently with the voting. We're no longer just showing up in a way to where we're willing to accept anything you say or you do because you look like us. Like those days are gone. We did that for so long. How many of you have made decisions centered around politics because your family did? You was just told This is just what we do. Identity politics. And then now you've gotten to a place to where you like, you know what? I ain't got ish out of that. Like, okay, so why were we doing this again? Why the hell had you been doing it? Like, you now like, oh, F that. I ain't doing it. And you don't care who mad. Because you woke up, you just like, I'm not doing this no more. And I don't give a damn who don't like it. F you, the boat you woke up. Like, I don't care. I'm not doing this. So this is a place where even with a lot of black people in like a lot of the black politicians are running scared because they can't just bank on the black vote anymore. Now we're on some type of time of what are you going to do for us? And we're no longer accepting which your lip talk, which you're saying you're going to do. We're seeing if from your history since you've been in politics, we're paying attention to what you have done thus far. And if what you have done this far is any type of evidence or indication that what you're saying you're going to do, that you will be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like you're judging them off of just what they've done, their resume. Not just, well, I'm black, so just give me a chance. No, I'm not doing it. I can't afford to do it anymore. I can't afford to do it anymore. And if I can't trust that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, give something for our people, then I'm just going to sit it out. Good luck with that. I'll just sit it out. Don't worry about it. You don't need to mail me anything. When you're driving and you're doing door knocking, this house you don't have to come here. I mean, I know you have a lot of houses to cover, so don't worry about this one right here. You don't have to worry about this one. And it's a lot of people who are out here saying, yeah, you ain't got to worry about this one over here either. And they are so upset. Oh my God, these people are so upset right now with black people being on code. It is ridiculous. And the more upset they are, the more that people like me, foundational Black American people, FBA people, the more we stand on business, the more we're standing 10 toes down, the more we trust and believe that we are doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing, because people are showing us exactly who they are, and that at the end of the day, all they give a damn about is our vote. Because clearly they don't give a damn about us, because where were they throughout this Carmelo Anthony trial or case? We haven't heard anybody. And Jasmine Crockett, loud mouth, I don't get me talking about her. She just now being Sansom, but I think it's because she's been hearing people throw her name out as they ask, where is Al Sharpton? Where is Crump, the attorney Crump? Where is Jasmine Crockett? Like people been Ben Crump, that's his name. Where's Ben Crump? People have been throwing out these names of these political people or these activist people who are almost like ambulance chaser when it comes to minority people. But though when it comes to black people, black causes, they're nowhere to be found. Why? It's because they know with us, oh, well, we don't have to do anything for them. We don't have to work for their vote. They're going to vote for us by default because that's how their mama and their grandmama voted and their granddaddy voted this. So we don't have to get out there and be working for it. But with the immigrants, oh yeah, we got to do something for them because we can't just automatically account for their vote. First of all, a lot of the immigrants aren't black. So let's sit that there. So now you got to be on some type of stuff. Oh, okay, well, this is what we're going to do for you, Hispanic community. We're going to do this, this, and this. Can we count on your vote? Well, we'll let you come over here. It'll be over here illegally and try to protect you. We'll create these sanctuary cities. We'll do all these things. That's all rooted in them wanting their vote. That's all, folks. That's all, folks. They just want the damn vote. Like what they say, Maya Angelou said, when a person shows you who you are, believe them. And I believe them. I believe them. It has nothing to do with whether I like who they are or not. It's a matter of who are they. All of them are the same. This channel originally started as a political channel. I talked politics pretty much all of like last year. This is how I built this channel. And then I just came to this it just kind of became very clear to me that there is no side, left or right, that's really here for the people. Not and that statement is not even a black or a white thing. I feel like when it comes to politics is centered around social economic status, the haves versus the have-nots. Regular, degular, everyday people like me is a part of the have-nots. So with that being said, when that became very clear to me, I said, you know what? F that. You're not going to hear me on my platform verbally supporting nobody. I'm not doing that because I've come to see it has been revealed who these people are. And I believe them. So I no longer have to play mind games with myself as to when I see certain characteristics of people to try to convince myself that what they said, they didn't really mean it that way. What they did, well, maybe they just had a bad day that day. I'm no longer in a place of making up excuses for things that can't be excused. Every day we're seeing that in this world, in the US and even around across the globe. We can't excuse this behavior. So what are we doing? Just trying to have whole think pieces surrounded as to try to justify the shenanigans. I'm not doing it. So as I said, if you on your goddamn tour with trying to get votes, skip this damn house. Don't even waste your time because you got a whole bunch of other houses to touch, but damn, you ain't got it. So there's one less house that you ain't got to go to. So hopefully the day will be shorter for you. Don't even worry about coming over here. Don't even worry about it. And they don't like that. In particular, the Democratic Party don't like that because the Republicans, they're used to not really getting the black person vote like that anyway. But them Democrats, that's all they've been banking on is the black votes and immigrant votes. So I hope that it's enough goddamn immigrants in the U.S. right now to go ahead and get whoever the hell trying to get elected in something, because black people today are like, it's you on your own. I ain't going. My feet, I'm not going. I'm not going. Good luck. Good luck, Jasmine Crockett, because we not coming up. We're not. No, I cannot. I will not, because you do not do what you're supposed to do to support the people who look like you. So with that being said, I ain't got nothing for you. I don't have anything for you. So yes, so she's been kind of dipping her toe out there to say some little things about the Carmelo Anthony case, but we not here for it. We see the play. We see what it's about. Running scared, knowing that it's voting season, and she want to be able to say that when this situation with Carmelo Anthony came out, that she spoke up, and maybe nobody else did, but I spoke up. She came and spoke up in the final hour after the fact. You didn't see her out there. That this trial, what the case happened like last May, when the incident happened where the Austin Metcalf was unalive. That was a year ago, a little over a year ago. All last year, I covered politics. That woman wasn't saying nothing about the case. Like, she was damn talking about Trump and what the hell he was doing or not doing. She didn't say nothing about anything centered around a black cause. She didn't have anything. Someone asked, can I call in? I don't know. I mean, on this live, I don't have a phone number linked to here. So this channel isn't established for like a call in type situation. Not right now. Um, but yeah, Jasmine, we see who the hell you are. Kamala Harris, we see who the hell you are. That's why y'all ain't getting caught. Jasmine, you didn't win through the votes. And Kamala, you ain't gonna win again. I don't know how many times people got to tell you that we don't want you. But apparently you hard at hearing, you delusional, and you steady taking these people money trying to run for a seat when these people have told you ample times that they don't want you, including myself. We don't want you. We don't like you. We don't like shit that you stand for, and you ain't black. So go sit down and go patronize them goddamn nail salons and beauty supplies in the Chinese restaurants because you damn Asian from what you said. Go ahead and go get you a goddamn baby hair toothbrush and some of that damn edge control. Get you some lashes and a bonnet. Support them damn people and buy them products. They got hair if you want to buy a wig. They got Kanekalon hair if you want to get you some damn braids. Because you say you black. Okay, well, you can go into the Asian store and get all the shit you need to get So you could come off as you're black, because right now we're not believing it. We're not believing it. I don't believe it. She said she's basically, the last I heard, she's planning to run for president again. Okay, again, I'll be sitting at the house watching the numbers, watching how the people tell her once again, bitch, we do not want you ever. The Lord of God says, sister, we wrestle not with the flesh and blood, but principalities of the wickedness in high places. Talking about a case is flesh and blood. That is arbitrary to the Bible. You don't understand what's at risk. Words are powerful. Words are powerful. Words are powerful, and that I know. Giorgio says, I can't stand AOC. She talks way too much, and I'm a native from New York. Listen, like, just because, somebody looks like you, it don't mean you have to align with them, because as we're seeing this with the Carmelo Anthony case, there's a good number of people who look like Carmelo Anthony and who don't align, who don't support him. So, you don't have to support someone, just on the strength of what they look like. But I just say be open to just hearing all the facts. How about that? Just with anyone, just be open to hearing all the facts. And that's on that. So let me check before we get off here. What our poll looking like? Have you completed the poll? Let's see what we working with. The question is, do you think Carmelo Anthony got a fair trial? Let's see. Let's go. 70% say yes, and 30% say no. Yes, he got, so it's consistent. The last 2 nights with my polls is that the bulk of the people think that he got a fair trial and that he should not be granted a retrial. That was the poll last night, I think. Should he be granted a retrial? And majority of the people said nope. But here it is, as someone pointed out in this post, like, words are powerful. So for me, I'm going to speak into existence that Kamala Harris ain't going to goddamn be the first woman president. So remember, words are powerful. We know that. And I'm speaking into existence that Carmelo Anthony will be granted a new trial. And the outcome of that trial will be fair. So I'm going to speak that into existence. How about that? How about that? So how many people, let me see, we had created? Okay, it was 1,023 people who completed the poll. So we had a good number of people who completed the poll. Larry said, racism comes from your own heart, not the people that look different than you. I like that. I agree. Because I don't think all white people are racist. Black people, I don't think it's a group of people. I think it's the heart of people. But I do feel like in within some groups, you have more people who demonstrate that type of behavior than other groups. And I personally feel that within the white group, the white race, it's a larger number of people who choose to be racist than it is of people within other groups, if that makes sense. So at the end of the day, it is what's in your heart. And it's unfortunate that it's in the heart of a lot of white people. So be vigilant, people. And as we're coming to see from this case that it's other groups of people where they have a good number of people who are racist within their groups as well. So listen, black people, listen, we learn. We might be late to the party when it comes to some of this stuff with reacting and standing on business. But listen, we here today. So with that being said, you all make sure you like, share, subscribe so you know when I go live. Make sure you got your notification bell on. And always like to say, take care of yourselves and one another. Heavy on the taking care of yourself, because no one got you like you do. There are a lot of people going through it in the world. So check on someone. Pick up the phone, reach out to someone and say, how you doing? Be on your Wendy Williams. See how people are doing, because right now, a lot of people are feeling unrest. Many people don't have jobs. Many people are losing loved ones due to death. Um, People are going to jail. Like, it's so much, you all, going on right now. We got a war going on. Um, the politics, the red and the blue, they ain't meeting in the middle to accomplish anything. Like, it's very understandable as to why there are a lot of people who are struggling with their mental health right now. It could be you. So if that is you, find something that makes you feel good, something that's legal, something that's safe, something that doesn't bring harm onto anyone else, and just do that. Disconnect, get off the internet, go for a walk, go for a run, go for a drive, whatever that may be. Just do something to take care of yourself, because you can't be no good to anyone else if you're not good to yourself, if you're not taking care of yourself. So take care of yourself. Thank you for tapping in with me on this live. If you came in later, please be a part of the replay game. And thank you, awesome mods. Hopefully it wasn't too bad tonight with the chat, but listen, it is what it is. So on that